Radio, the sports leaders in South Central Utah, now present another exciting high school football game broadcast. This sports broadcast is brought to you by sports-minded sponsors throughout South Central Utah. And now, let's go live to the football field for simulcast coverage of high school football on Mid-Utah Radio and Centricom Channel 10.
And welcome now to the Eccles Coliseum on the campus of Southern Utah University. Robert Lovell with you alongside Scott Langford on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network and TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom, along with KSL Sports for the 1A Football State Championship on a snowy November afternoon. And Scott, it's just a great day for football.
Yeah, it doesn't get better than this. I mean, it's a little brisk, a little bit of, some snow flurries, but one of the state's classic rivalries will tee it up this afternoon for the championship. Great game coming up.
Scott's going to give us a breakdown of that classic rivalry here in a little bit. But first, let's jump into our news and notes here inside the Snow College pregame show. There's something for everyone at Snow College. Dive into the action and make unforgettable memories today. Visit snow.edu for a full list of what's happening on campus. Snow College, your community college. And as we look at our news and notes, Kanab comes in as the number 3 seed in the state tournament, a 9-3 overall record on the year, 3-1 in 1A South Region play. They are coached by J.R. Kornberg in his 5th year at the helm of the Cowboys. And the Beavers, number 1 team in the state, 11-1 record on the year. They went 4-0 in that 1A South region, which was a brutal region to go through. And of course, they are coached by head coach John Marshall. He's no stranger to state championship games.
No, he's got a lot of state championships under his belt. Girls basketball, he's to the double digits almost, and football, trying to head there as well.
Yeah, and he has head coaches on the sidelines with him that are used to being in these state championship games as head coaches.
It's probably one of the most experienced and acclaimed coaching staffs in the state of Utah. Just really a lot of great coaches, and you can tell in the way the kids play.
It's almost like they just take turns of whose turn it is to be the head coach to win a state championship. Of course, you had Coach Hutchings, Coach Hunter, and now Coach Marshall all there as head coaches that have won state titles.
And they've all remained, and so basically, the system remains.
It's not like they left.
No transitions. They're all there.
Changed roles.
That's right. That's exactly what happened. And as a result, you've seen consistency in Beaver football. 9 out of 10 playing in this championship game in the 1A and 2A classification. It's a powerhouse right now.
Yes, it is. Last game for Kanab was the semifinal win over North Summit. North Summit was undefeated at the time, and Kanab really dominated that game. In fact, I don't think it was as close as the score shows, Scott, winning 27-6. You and I had the call on that one, and Kanab just looked really good last week.
It wasn't close, and basically, Kanab won every facet of the game. They won the defensive line, the offensive line. I mean, they were the aggressors the entire game, and really, from the outset, North Summit not necessarily in the game. Great team out of North Summit, but this Kanab team on the roll at the right time.
Yeah, that's for sure. In that game last week for the Cowboys, Brogan Vrosco was 7 of 16 passing for 109 yards. Hayden Gubler, 19 carries for 136 yards and a touchdown. And Troy Federkow was leading receiver with 1 reception for 53 yards. Defensively, Colton Blomquist had 11 tackles and a tackle for loss in the game for Kanab. Now for Beaver, it was a much tighter game last week as they beat Milford. Another rivalry for the Beavers, winning that one 21-14. In that game for the Beavers, Bodie Wheatley threw for 112 yards and a touchdown. Deegan Blackner, 16 carries for 59 yards. Gage Radden was leading receiver, 1 reception for 62 yards. And Jexton Puffer defensively, 7 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks in the win for Beaver. And that was another fun one there, Scott, but Beaver able to prevail.
Yeah, no, it was a great game. And the Milford Tigers, we talked about all season long 4 teams. Milford, Beaver, Kanab, and North Summit. And it came down to those 4 teams and great games. And it's funny because I actually thought that Beaver-Milford game would be, a pick'em game, and it absolutely was. It could have gone either way. A couple breaks could have gone the Tigers' way, but very evenly matched teams. It was a great game.
Yes, it was. And, of course, as far as these two teams, the last game that they had together back in Week 6, and Beaver won that one 20-7 in a game that I think was closer than the final score showed, Scott.
Well, 7.5. Yeah. And, I mean, and Beaver pulled out towards the end, but that one was also just, anybody's game. That second half, the Beavers did pull away, but it was a close one. Definitely not. I think that one's closer than the score indicated.
Yeah. So. And looking at that game for these two teams, for Kanab, Brogan Vrosco threw for 78 yards. He did throw an interception. Hayden Gubler had 67 rushing yards and the lone touchdown. He was also the leading receiver with 3 catches for 27 yards. And defensively, Colton Blomquist again, 12 tackles, an interception, a fumble recovery, and a fumble caused in the loss for Kanab. For Beaver in that game, Bodie Wheatley, 80%, 8 for 10 passing for 57 yards. He did throw 1 interception. Deegan Blackner ran for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. Gage Radden, 3 receptions for 30 yards. And then Andrew Hollingshead, 12 tackles and a tackle for loss in the game for Beaver. These are 2 teams that they know each other well.
Well, they run a very similar offense. Same to similar offense. I mean, there's a few wrinkles here and there, but these 2 teams run the same offense. They know what each other is going to do, and this is just going to be hard-nosed football. 2 teams doing the same thing against each other.
Let's look at the series now, Scott, and we'll have you break it down a little bit deeper for us. But since 1950, Beaver leads the series 59-39. Kanab's last win was 2022, and a great game. That was a phenomenal game. And then Beaver, though, they've won the last 3 since then.
Yeah, they have. And it's interesting. George Felt gave us a lot of information. This is, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not sure there's a better rivalry between Beaver and Kanab. Ironically, the last time they met in a state championship was 1987, so it was a long time ago. I mean, that's almost 40 years ago where these 2 teams matched up. So it's kind of fun. They've played a lot. They've had some really spirited games. Lately, it has been the Beavers that have been coming up on top. A couple of Felt's facts, and you can see this sometimes you'll see it in the Deseret News. But Beavers have won the 15 of the last 16 with the lone loss 20 in 2022. But in the 80s, when I actually played and it was either Beaver and Kanab. Appeared in 18 of the 20 Class A championship games. So one team or the other or both appeared in those games during those times. It was just so much fun. These 2 teams have played 7 times, as you mentioned, with Kanab winning 5 of those 7. So in championship matchups, Kanab with the edge. And they haven't played a whole lot in the series, since then, as far as the playoffs.
Playoffs, yeah.
Only a couple of games in the 2000s. Now they played games that mattered for the playoffs, but not very often in the playoffs.
Yeah. Again, it's a great rivalry here between Beaver and Kanab. They know each other well, and it's going to be another great matchup here today. Going back to these 2 teams, as it's a little different every year, but same schools. As far as measuring stick games go, Kanab is 7-0 against common opponents. Beaver is 7-1. Kanab beat Millard twice handily. Beaver beat Millard 28-7. They both beat Duchesne by similar scores, a little bit more in favor of the Beavers in that one. Kanab's win against North Summit is the anomaly here. The difference in these 2 records is they beat North Summit 26-7. Beaver lost at North Summit in 5 overtimes at 16-14. They both beat Parowan handily. They both beat Milford in 1-score games. Beaver beat them twice in 1-score games. Yeah. And then they both beat Enterprise fairly handily in their 2 matchups. So on paper, again, this is a really evenly matched game.
On paper, an evenly matched game, and it's going to come down to just execution and just little things. But this couldn't be more exciting because there's really not a clear favorite. In the 8-man and the 2A, you have clear favorites. In this one, anybody could win. That's what makes this so much fun.
That's for sure. Let's look at our Farm Bureau Financial Services stat check. Farm Bureau agent Rachel McCauley is a locally owned and operated small business committed to protecting the local community with insurance and financial options. Give Rachel a call today to learn how to protect what you love with Farm Bureau. Kanab comes in averaging 33 points a game, giving up 16.5. Beavers averaging just under 31 points a game, but as we have consistently seen with the Beavers, especially over the last 10 years, only giving up 8 points per game this season.
Yeah, no, it's always been the defense that's really kept the Beavers in the games, and then the offense, just scores. But that defense has been the hallmark, and it could come down to that again today because the Kanab Cowboys, the defense for the North Summit Braves, didn't do a great job on the Kanab Cowboys last week. Can the Beavers slow down the momentum of the Cowboy offense? And it's going to be a great offense against the #1 defense.
And you look at these 2 teams as far as their offensive output goes with their Farm Bureau Insurance stat check. They're pretty similar, a little in favor towards the Kanab Cowboys as they average 368 yards a game, 342 for the Beavers, but both very run heavy. Kanab averages 33 passing yards compared to 275 rushing, and Beaver averages 85 passing yards compared to 257 rushing. So again, we're going to see a lot of running in today's ball game. Now, I say that last week, both teams passed more than I thought they were going to.
They did, and actually, Beaver broke the game open with a little bit of passing. You've got Bodie Wheatley's a great quarterback with the Beavers, and he does the right kinds of things. He does just enough. He runs, but he's also a very good passer in that offense, so it makes the wing team a lot more dangerous. Verosco looked good last week as well. They had a couple plays last week where Verosco had I think it was either Federico, it might have been Gubler, coming out of that backfield. And Beaver does the same kinds of plays. It's their defenses will have to be honest with these two offenses.
Yeah, you talk about Wheatley, of course, multiple-year starter, has been so good. Verosco, following in the footsteps of Griffin Bone.
Tough spot.
But he has just gotten better and better. I think his last two games might have been the best 2 games he's played all season.
Oh, I completely agree. And I think, you step out of the shadow of Griffin Bone, who was just a phenomenal talent. That semifinal matchup between Beaver and Kanab last year was one of my favorite games to call. That was a lot of fun, and that one came down to the end as well. But Verosco has stepped right into the shoes, and he's got a good complement of people behind him, a great offensive line, and he's done really well and led the Cowboys to the championship game. Yeah,
he has done very well, that's for sure. Let's look at those individual leaders for these two teams. Brogan Verosco at quarterback for Kanab, 50% completion percentage on the year for 1,062 yards, 10 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. On the Beaver side, Bodie Wheatley, 58% completion this year for 931 yards, same touchdown to interception ratio, 10-5 for Wheatley. Leading rusher for the Cowboys, Hayden Gubler, 143 carries for 1,385 yards and 21 touchdowns. For Beaver, they're a little more balanced as far as how many ball carriers they give it to, but only 14 less carries for the leading rusher and Deegan Blackner, 887 yards for him and 6 touchdowns. Leading receiver for the Cowboys, Cash Jabonic, 12 receptions for 335 yards and 3 scores. And for Beaver, Gage Radden, 14 receptions for 283 yards and 2 touchdowns. Defensively, Colton Blomquist for Kanab, 94 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, and a fumble cause. He's done everything but block a punt this year.
Yeah, he has. He's all over the place. Great player.
And then for the Beavers, what a season for Jexton Puffer. 84 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, and a fumble cause this season.
Well, Puffer has been just solid up the middle. He does not allow a lot. That defensive line of the Beavers has been solid all season long. Puffer leading the way.
Yeah.
He anchors that defensive line right up the middle.
As far as the line on today's game, Beaver favored by 2 points by Perry's Power Guide, 6 points by Max Prep. So, again, that's going to be a fantastic matchup.
It is. I want to take just 1 second and just give a shout out to Haylers back in D.C. watching on TeamHive.live. And watch some good rural Utah football. So
yeah, why not?
Yeah, people from all over get to watch. So
current streak for the Cowboys, they've won their last 6, 5 in a row for the Beavers, and the last state title for Kanab, 2007. For Beaver, their last state title just 1 year ago.
Well, and like we talked about this before, Beaver, 9 out of 10 championship games
that they've been in,
and,
which is an incredible run.
It is an incredible run, and Felt's Facts talks about the fact that it's Beavers played in more championship games than anybody in the state in the state history in football, and Kanab right behind in 4th place.
Yeah.
These are 2 football schools, Robert, and schools that are, they have lots of tradition, lots of pride, and they both know how to win in these kinds of games.
So 2018 was the year they weren't in the championship. Yep. That was Grand South Summit.
Yep, and Grand defeated them in the semis.
Which means also that it's not just 9 of the last 10, but it's the last 7.
Yeah, no, last 7 in a row.
Yeah.
And actually, if you look at, I've got it right here. Let me see if I can pull this up for you. But you look at the games and the Beavers. The last time they didn't play in at least the semis was 2011.
Yeah.
So, you got 13 years of being in the top 4 in their classification.
Yeah, pretty impressive run so far by Beaver, and Kanab looking to try to find a way to knock them off the top here in this one as Beaver tries to remain on top of the mountain in football this year in the 1A classification. This is the Snow College pregame show. We'll take a break and come back with our coaches' comments next on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom and KSL Sports.
Since 1947, Barney Trucking has built a reputation of unparalleled customer service and satisfaction in the trucking industry. Barney Trucking is now hiring drivers statewide, including Beaver, Millard, Sevier, San Pete, Juab, Carbon, Emery, Utah, and Salt Lake counties, as well as many other locations. The job includes a home daily schedule, excellent pay, benefits, training, retirement, a positive work environment, and requires a Class A CDL license with doubles endorsement. To apply, go to barneyjobs.com. That's barneyjobs.com.
Hi, I'm Barrett Hilton with TeamHive.live, where we've created a locally run video streaming platform for Utah schools. On our website, you're not going to wade through a bunch of unrelated content. You bring up TeamHive.live and you're just going to find a lot of high school sports and events. We've created tools that make it super easy for you to create events and stream to our site. And if you ever need help with anything, you can give me a call. So I want to invite your school to join the team. If you're a Utah high school, you can stream live on TeamHive. That's TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
Here in Beaver, Utah, we take farm to table seriously. Our cheeses are made using milk from family farmers just down the road and processed next door by artisan cheesemakers. It's what makes our cheese curds the best you've ever had. And when you visit our store off I-15, you'll feel our deep farming roots as you enjoy a meal, a scoop of ice cream, and farm-to-table cheeses. With outdoor seating and room for kids to learn about dairy farming and cheese making, it's the most fun you'll have on your next drive through Utah. Visit thecreameryutah.com to learn more.
Live high school sports action on Centracom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back here to Southern Utah University. Robert Lovell with you alongside Scott Langford inside the Snow College pregame show. Did you know the Snow College has the lowest tuition rate in the state? On average, you'll pay half as much as Snow as you have to pay the bigger schools. Low tuition ranked #1 for student success. That's what we call a great value. That's Snow College. Let's jump now into our coaches' comments.
We're joined now by Coach J.R. Kornberg of the Kanab Cowboys at the 1A state championship, going against a familiar foe in the Beavers. Coach, first off, looking at your team, got the big win last week over North Summit to give them their only loss in the season, beating them 27-6. Where do you feel like you guys are at now coming into this state championship game?
Yeah, that game was awesome, but who cares at this point? And we wanted to enjoy it, but we haven't been able to yet. We gotta play one more game, the most important game. We feel like we're playing our best football, so I hope that we're able to continue this important game today. So.
Again, a team you're familiar with in Beaver, a great rivalry that's been going back since 1950. You lost them earlier this year, 20-7. What can you take from that game to make it so it's different here today?
We got outblocked, and if we're going to flip the script, it has to be based on that. So that'll be our focus. Both teams are going to come into this ready. Both teams are going to try to do a lot of the exact same things, so we have to outblock them.
Blocking was where you dominated, in my opinion, last week against North Summit. What's the key to continuing that?
Just do it again. We're fully capable of doing it. We've been telling these guys all along. This is where we started our season. We were out on this turf and it was 105 degrees and we nearly melted, and blocking was the key then. And here we are now with snow coming down, and we're ending where we started, and it's the same focus right now as it was in that very first day together. Block and tackle.
Who sets the tone for you to set that as far as blocking goes?
Troy Federkyle, but also Big Wyatt Orton. They're two captains on the team. They're our two best blockers when they decide to be, and Nate Stewart in there. Obviously, up front, the offensive line, but our backs have to block too. So.
Preston Brown and Hayden Gubler have really become a 1-2 punch. Then, as you mentioned, Federkyle and Ryder Allen in there as well. But what do you need to see out of those two primary backs?
Just run hard. They came out of that one with the tanks on E, so hopefully they're fueled back up and ready to go. But those guys got to run hard and take care of the football.
What did you see out of Brogan today at quarterback?
I thought he played one of his better games last week. He's been improving, and I just need him to, take care of the offense and take what they give him. We don't want to put the ball up in harm's way, but when he has a chance to make plays, we trust him and believe in him, and we need him to make those plays and put the ball where it needs to go.
When you look at Beaver, what do you need to do to try to slow them down?
Well, it's a balanced attack. It's not, you can't come into the game preparing to stop one guy. You have to be ready to get to the football and tackle the whole group. They're going to execute their stuff defensively. They're so tough to move the ball on. The only time we've put up some points against them, we beat them. Since I've been coaching, that's only been once in these 5 seasons. We've only beat them that one time. When we were able to do that, we put up some points, and that's no easy task. I think they've consistently been the best defense in our league, and so we've got to be able to move the ball and put up some points today. That's part of stopping them, is not punt the ball back to them every time you have the ball. So,
when you look at your team, how's the health of it coming into this game?
We're beat up after that game, but everyone is. It's the state championship, last game of the year. Everyone's been playing hard to get here, so our guys are in pads, ready to roll. We'll see what they're able to do today.
You've already been talking about it, but what 2 or 3 things have to happen today for your team to get the win?
Same old thing. You probably get sick of asking me, but we've got to take care of the football and win the turnover battle. We've got to win on the ground, which is very tough against this team. It was tough last week. We've got to find a way to win on the ground again in this one, and we've got to tackle.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for joining us, and good luck today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Once again, Coach J.R. Kornberg of the Kanab Cowboys here inside the Snow College pregame show. We'll take a short break and come back with Coach John Marshall, the Beavers. That's next on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and KSL Sports.
Bose Auto Parts is a locally owned company, and their mission is to be the leading parts provider by serving their customers, team members, and communities through hard work, integrity, and striving for excellence. Bose Auto Parts has 5 key locations across Utah: St. George, Cedar City, Beaver, Mount Pleasant, and Saratoga Springs. Bose delivers to wherever you are and community you might be in. Between their stores, they have won 16 Platinum Awards, 4 Best of Iron County, 3 Best of Southern Utah, 2 Best Places to Work. That's Bose Auto Parts.
The quarterback counts on his O-line for protection in the pocket. In Delta, you can count on Farm Bureau agent Chad Drubay to protect your family's blind side no matter what life throws at you. Chad is there to handle all your auto, home, life, and business insurance needs. Don't scramble around working with multiple insurance companies. Talk to Farm Bureau agent Chad Drubay today and see how he can help protect what matters most. Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Property and Casualty Insurance Company, Western Agricultural Insurance Company. And a great rendition of the national anthem here as we get ready for the opening kickoff between Beaver and Kanab. And we're getting ready to go for the kickoffs. Unfortunately, we're going to have to skip out on Coach Marshall's thoughts coming into today's game. But
I'll tell you what he said. Take care of the ball, don't make mistakes, win the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, you know, and it was very complimentary of Kanab. And you got to hear Coach Kornberg talk about the same thing. You know, they know that they're going up against a well-coached team and a good football team, and both coaches expecting it to be a hard-fought matchup.
Yeah, these two teams are fundamentally extremely sound. These guys, they play football, they coach football just at that fundamental level, and both are really worried about the little details, the ball control, the execution. Those are the things that win football games, and that's why they're both here.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case. As you take a look at the keys of the game now, let's look at our Mike's Food Town keys of the game here. First off, for the Beavers, Scott.
It'll be the defensive side of the ball. The line of scrimmage will win this game for either team. So I think, you know, the Beavers have to own the line of scrimmage, and defensively they've got to be able to stay home on the run. The Beavers like the run defense, and so if they can hold that big offensive line of the Kanab Cowboys, you know, the defense will be the key of this one.
Mike's Food Town, your full-service grocery store providing fresh produce, quality meat, fresh bakery, deli, cold drinks, and ice cream. Mike's Food Town also offers online shopping, proud to support Beaver High School sports. And for our Kane School District, keys to the game for the Kanab Cowboys, providing students excellent instruction and empowering immeasurable opportunity. Kane County School District, every student, every day.
I'm not sure I've ever had a game where I would just say ditto. It's basically these two teams want to do exactly the same thing. And, you know, for the Kanab Cowboys, it's going to come down to being able to run the ball against the Beavers. I think Coach Kornberg talked about that. He said we have to be able to score some points because he said the one game that they've won in the last 5, since he's been a head coach, they were able to score some points. Other than that, the Beavers have been able to hold them back. So I think it'll be just that offensive production, being able to actually move the football against the Beavers.
That was a Griffin Bone field goal to win the game, correct?
It was.
And I shared this last week, saying, forget replacing Griffin Bone at quarterback. How do you replace him at kicker? Well, the freshman Ray Capson, he could be a difference maker in this game.
Hey, no, he did a great job last week.
Yeah.
And he came clutch. He put some pressure on the Braves in that with the first field goal that made them change a game plan. And that's the value of special teams. Sometimes it makes teams adjust. Just in the most subtle of ways that really causes problems.
Yeah, so that very well could be a key for today's game as well. I guess we should have went ahead and played the interview. Are they waiting for the chopper to fly in?
I think they are. You could probably get it in.
So while they're waiting for the chopper to fly the game ball in, they're looking south. We'll see if it's coming or not. Let's go ahead and try to get some words here from Coach John Marshall for this 1A state championship football game.
We're joined now by Coach John Marshall, the Beavers at the 1A state championship, going up against a familiar opponent in Kanab. Coach, first off, looking at your team, hard-fought win last week over another rival in Milford, 21-14. Where do you feel like you guys are at now coming into this state championship game today?
Well, we're really excited to be one of the last two teams standing. Our classification was really tough this year. A lot of really good teams. And so we're obviously excited. It was a hard-fought battle with Milford. Milford's done a great job, and it's going to be the same type of game today. We're going to have to play a lot better, though, today if we want to get the win.
You're used to this team. You've seen Kanab many times over the years, a great rivalry. You beat them earlier this year, 20-7. What can you take from that game to try to utilize again today?
Well, it seems like it was a long time ago, but Kanab's, obviously, they've gotten better and they've improved. They're a physical team. They're a big team. We've got to make sure that we to find a way to control the line of scrimmage. Obviously, that game today is going to be decided by probably which team's able to do what they want to do more effectively. We're very similar to each other. We look pretty similar to each other in a lot of ways, and so for us, it just comes down to what we always try to do. We're going to try to stop the run. We're going to try to run the football, and then we got to have kids step up and make plays.
When you look at your offense, obviously it's a run-first offense. What do you want to see out of guys like Deegan and Davin get running the football today?
Well, we've got to run hard, and then really the key is going to come down to our offensive line and other positions. In the wing tee, everybody's got to block, everybody's got to do their job. And so, as much as we want to talk about the guys running the football and they do a great job, if our guys have space to run, then they're going to make big plays. Same with Kanab's guys. And so a lot's going to come down to the guys up front and what happens there.
Again, we'll come out of that now as we get ready for the opening kickoff here in the 1A Football State Championship. Making his approach for Beaver, Deegan Horner. The kick is away. Back to receive Troy Federcal for the Cowboys. Takes it at the 6-yard line, out across the 10 to the 15, cuts back inside of the 25, and will go down at about the 27, 28-yard line. And that's where Kanab will start the opening drive of the 1A State Championship.
Federcal and Brown back for that kickoff. Two dangerous kick returners. The Beavers also with Blackner. Also back there, dangerous special team players for both teams.
Yeah, just great players all the way around for both these squads. And, we talked about it. Beavers' one loss was to Kanab in 5 overtimes this season. For Kanab, to North Summit, excuse me, yes. Yep. For Kanab, their losses were to the 3 defending state champions in 1A, 2A, and 3A. Quick pass out to Federcal, and he'll be brought down by Blackner after a short gain of 2 yards to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, you watch this by Blackner. Cooper Anderson had a wrap on Blackner. He just fought through the block for the tackle. Great open field tackle by the senior Blackner.
So Federcal gets the first 2 touches of the day with the kick return, and then the first pass of the day for the Cowboys.
You can see the Cowboys. These two teams have to have some kind of balance. It's usually like a two-thirds, one-third balance rush to pass. And you can see Kanab opened up to keep the defense honest.
They went ahead and just gave him a yard on that one. So 2nd down and 9. Verosco under center. The wing to the right takes a snap. Going to give to Gubler. And many guys in the backfield for Beaver. They push him back to the 20-yard line. The forward progress will be at the 24 as Beaver's defensive line burst through for a loss of 5.
Yeah, Gubler had no chance as he basically had the handoff and then had a defender. Reagan Bradshaw just blew through, made Gubler go back to the side. Then Hollingshead and Radden there for the tackle.
So 3rd down and 14 now for the Cowboys. 10:50 to go here in the first quarter on the Kane County Hospital scoreboard. No score in this 1A state championship, just over a minute into the game. Earlier today, it was Rich winning the 8-man state championship game in dominant fashion over Monticello. Verosco under center, takes a snap, fakes the handoff, drops. Nope, he does give the delayed handoff to Brown, who just covered it up like he didn't have it. He breaks a couple of tackles and gets out to the 33-yard line for a gain of 9 and makes it 4th down and about 5.
Man, even I watched that faked. I thought that Verosco did a great job of faking that one, and he had it back on the back side. So he did hand it, he did pass him, and then came around that backside with a wraparound handoff.
Both players did a good job of faking everybody out there. Yeah. Now, Kanab, as we talked about last week, they don't drop the 10 yards deep, which allows Beaver to hit the center here. If Verosco does choose to punt here on 4th and 5, he is going to drop 7 yards back, takes a snap, has time, gets the kickoff. Kind of a knuckleball type of kick, takes a Kanab roll past Blackner inside the 30 down to the 26-yard line, and that's where Beaver will start their first drive after the defense forced a 3-and-out to start the game.
Yeah, just exactly what the Beavers wanted to start with was that defensive stop. Really not a lot going on, and now we'll see if the Kanab Cowboys can respond with the same defensive challenge on the Beavers.
Again, the drive will start at the 26-yard line. By the way, throughout today's game for the Beavers, we are looking for that State Farm Insurance player of the game, Brent Stapley, your State Farm agent in Beaver. They provide home, auto, life insurance in addition to investment annuities, opportunities for retirement. 45 North Main and Beaver. Handoff comes near side to Blackner. He gets hit in the backfield, and he'll be driven back. They're going to say his forward progress gets back to the line of scrimmage, so no gain on the first carry of the game for the Beavers.
Yeah, just like the other side. You saw great pursuit. The hole was filled. Wyatt Orton made Blackner take one step to the right, and then the rest of the Cowboys there, 24 and 50. Let's see. So it was Wyatt Orton and Federkyle on the tackle.
Also for Beaver, we're looking for that Timberline Restaurant player of the game, or sub of the game, American cooking with everything made from scratch. That's Timberline Inn Restaurant. And for Kanab, the Kanab Drug player of the game. The soda fountain has paninis, wraps, personal pan pizzas, and smoothies. Wheatley under center. Hard count flag flies, and it's going to be offsides on Kanab as he got the Cowboys to jump. Makes it 2nd down and 5 for the Beavers.
Yeah, I didn't see the jump, but it was a clear call from the side judge, as he said they were lined up across.
One of the things Coach Marshall talked about that we didn't unfortunately get to hear was penalties. He talked about too many penalties this year for the Beavers. Last week, a lot of penalties on Beaver, uncharacteristic, and he said they've got to clean that up today.
No, that's been all season long, with the exception of the first couple games. After that, that has cost the Beavers, dearly in the season.
Wheatley handoff up the middle, to was that Hollingshead up the carry?
I think so. Yeah.
And he's going to get out, be about 3rd and short gain to about the 33-yard line for pickup of 2.
Yeah, on the tackle for the Cowboys, number 15, Clarkson.
So Hollingshead with the carry for the short gain. Makes it now 3rd down and 3 for the Beavers. Kanab trying to force a 3-and-out as Orton runs the play call in from the sideline. 8:37 to go here in quarter number 1 on the Beaver Valley Hospital scoreboard. High-quality health care at a community hospital price. That's Beaver Valley Hospital.
Both of these teams want to be, if they're being 3rd down, they want 3rd down and inside of 5 for this wing team offense.
Wheatley under center. And they moved the 2 side of the line. Kanab looked like they jumped offside, and now the official will throw it.
Yeah.
As Kanab jumped when those 2 linemen got up and moved to the other side. And that moves it 5 yards and gives the first down of the game to the Beavers with a Riverstone Contractors first down.
And the official couldn't get his flag out. He took a long time to get one out. You could see the coaching staff on the Beavers sideline just jumping up and down, and the flag came out just a little bit later than expected.
So 1st down and 10 for Beaver at their own 38-yard line. Splitting wide left for the Beavers is Reagan Bradshaw. Wheatley under center. Sends a man in motion right to left. Hard count. Kanab doesn't jump this time. Takes the snap. Gives him the handoff left side. Bouncing ahead across the 40-yard line to the 41. We've got Hollingshead again with the 3-yard carry.
Yeah, just tough. That line of scrimmage is just a mass of bodies. And the Beavers get about 3 yards is all, but good pursuit by the Cowboys. The Cowboys are just loading up that box, selling out on the run. Both teams will do that, and that's when the pass becomes a little dangerous.
2nd down and 7 here for the Beavers. 7:30 to go here in quarter number 1 of this 1A state championship. Again, Bradshaw splits wide left.
All but one in the box now.
Wheatley under center. Long count, takes the snap, fakes the pitch. He's going to roll to pass. Throws out of the backfield looking for Orton. Makes the catch across the 50. Down the sideline to the 25. It's a foot race, and he's going to outrun everybody. A touchdown for the Beavers. Beavers strikes first as they take it to the Beaver Valley Chevron end zone.
Yeah, 59 yards to Davin Orton, and it's just exactly what I said. It's that if you sell out and you put all of your players in the box, then you've got to have your linebackers play on those running backs, and it's exactly what Kanab did to North Summit last week. Now the tables have turned. The Beavers with the first score of the game.
59-yard score from Wheatley to Orton, and the Beavers are on the board first. Now Emmett Worth set to kick the extra point for Beaver. High snap. Holder gets it down. That's Orton, and the kick is up and through for Worth. So with 7:06 to go in quarter number 1 of the 1A Football State Championship, it's Beaver 7, Kanab 0 on the Beaver Valley Hospital scoreboard on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and KSL Sports.
We are all part of a team. Whether you are the quiet hero or the newest recruit, the steady anchor or the moral support, your team needs you. At Intermountain Health, Fillmore Community Hospital, we want to be part of your team. Partner with us on your health and continue to be a game changer for your teammates.
Live high school sports action on Centracom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back here to the Eccles Coliseum on the campus of Southern Utah University as the Beavers make the first trip to the Beaver Valley Chevron end zone. Troy and his staff are proud supporters of Beaver High School. And Horner now with the kick for the Beavers. That one's going to go deep. Federcal back to receive. That one goes 5 yards into the end zone to the roar of the Beaver crowd. And Kanab will start on their own 20-yard line, down 7-0 with 7:06 to go in the first quarter on the Beaver Valley Hospital scoreboard.
Yeah, the best way to neutralize the talented kick returners of the Cowboys is kick it into the end zone.
Yeah.
I mean, last week we saw North Summit kick it out of bounds, trying to stay away from Preston Brown and also from Federcal.
They'll split Anderson wide left, will the Cowboys. Brown and Gubler in the backfield. Federcal the wing. Roscoe under center. Handoff on the dive to Brown. Gets hit right as he got to the line of scrimmage. They're going to give him a yard is all on the carry. Was that Sawyer? Who was
Jex Bradshaw. Yeah, stepped right up into the hole made through the lineman. And Federcal, no chance. Yep, just the receiver didn't get over to block Bradshaw. He stepped into the hole, made the tackle.
So just a 1-yard pickup for Preston Brown. 2nd down and 9 for the Cowboys. As Kashkabanik runs the play in from the sideline.
I was impressed last week with both Brown and Gubler just following that line down the field.
Roscoe takes a snap, rolls the pass, throws the underneath route. That's going to be knocked away. Good play defensively by Horner to break up the pass.
Yeah, Horner there just at the right time. Came across with the left hand, knocked the ball out, and great coverage. You can see as the ball was delivered, just perfect timing, right there on the right spot. Great defensive back play.
So 3rd down and 9 for the Cowboys, trying to avoid going 3 and out for the second straight time. After Beaver put together a 59-yard touchdown pass to take the early lead. A couple of offside penalties against Kanab helped aid the Beaver drive. Rolling to his right as Verosco steps with the throw across the middle. That one's going to be caught out to the 35-yard line. On the reception, Latimer Glover, the talented sophomore.
Yeah, no, Glover did a good job. What he did is he sat in the seam and then moved to the middle of the field in the open spot. He had his receiver on his outside edge, and Verosco did a good job of spotting and throwing.
15-yard gain for the Lumber Plus 1st down.
That was a big play for the Kanab Cowboys. I do want to just give a quick shout out to our crew. You know, if you're watching this on TeamHive.live or listening on Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, what a crew we have providing this quality footage.
Verosco takes a snap, hands off right side to Brown, ran into a pile. They're going to give him a yard to the 37, but no more.
Yeah, there was nothing there as the Beavers were able to just bunch up right in the middle. One thing that's impressive on both these teams, you see linemen blocking downfield 6, 7, 8, 9 yards. There were a couple on that play too. Line of scrimmage got stopped, but the linemen never quit.
Yeah. 2nd down and 9 now for the Cowboys. 5:31 to go here in quarter number 1 of the 1A State Championship. Beaver leads 7-0. Verosco under center. Takes a snap. Gives on the handoff right side to Gubler. Gubler trying to bounce outside. He's able to pick up 5-6 yards out to the 42-yard line to make it 3rd and short.
Now, Gubler, not a great big athlete, but that was a power run by Gubler as he was hit and then just kept bouncing, kept his legs moving off to the side, and almost got loose on that right side. Just great balance for Gubler.
Just his 2nd carry of the day. Makes it 3rd and 4. They'll split Kabanik wide right.
Kind of that familiar 3rd down the Cowboys and Beavers both like, 3rd and less than 5.
Roscoe takes a snap, fakes the handoff, drops the pass, looks across the middle, nothing there. Now pitches it with a shovel pass up ahead to Gubler, and he'll be brought down. Ooh, he is going to be about a half a yard short to maybe make it a full yard short of the 45-yard line of the 1st down. We'll see if Coach Kornberg wants to go for it here.
I say on 4th and 1 with the line that the Kanab Cowboys have, why not? I mean, conventional wisdom says you can get a yard.
Yeah.
This is the number 1 defense in the classification. However, 4th and 1, yeah.
Looks like they are going to go for it here out the 45-yard line, but again, they just dropped the quarterback to kick it. So
and it's the Kanab brand, too.
Yeah, Roscoe will be under center. Beaver piling the line of scrimmage, handoff in the middle to Brown, runs into a brick wall. The pile still moving as he's on his feet, and he's going to be about a foot short, make it 2 feet short of the 1st down. A turnover on downs by the Cowboys as the Beaver defense holds strong.
Wow, what a push right up the middle. Watch this as they pushed in, and you can see, I think it's Jex Puffer right in the middle. He just blocked that by himself. The other 2 defensive linemen squoze down, and Beavers great field position on the turnover.
They gave him the length of the football as all he got on the play, and Beaver takes over in Kanab territory with the nose of the football touching the 45-yard line.
Yeah, 45-yard line. The Beavers, what a huge opportunity here for Beaver with 4:05 left in the 1st.
They'll break the huddle. Wheatley under center, the wing to the right, that's Radden. Takes a snap, going to give the handoff on the dive. Room for Hollingshead to run as he bounces off tacklers and gets down to the 36-yard line for a pickup of 9.
Yeah, the quick hitter. He hit the hole right, and the block allowed just enough space. Hollingshead squirted through and wasn't stopped until the safety came up to make the tackle. Yeah, he just went flying through the hole. Great blocking by the line.
2nd down and 1 now for the Beavers.
And again, you can see Lopshire down blocking 12 yards downfield.
Yeah. Takes the snap, does Wheatley. Fakes the handoff, pitches it out for Blackner. Blackner gets a block, bounces inside to the 25-20 as he gets through an arm tackle before Glover knocks him out of bounds at the 14-yard line. 1st and 10, Beaver knocking on the door of the Beaver Valley Chevron end zone.
Yeah, what a big play. Great execution. Wheatley pays for this one as he gets just punished and tackled after the play. But then Blackner does one sidestep on a great block at the 1st, and I missed the player on that, but Blackner with a great run down into the red zone.
23-yard gain to the 13-yard line for the Beavers. They're going to split to Hollingshead and Bradshaw to the left. The wing to the right is Radden. Wheatley in the gun, takes a snap, gives it to Radden on the jet sweep. Radden gets blockers to the edge, cuts outside, and he'll be brought down. Kabanik and Gubler out there to bring him down at about the 11-yard line. Make it the 10 for a pickup of 3.
Yeah, Kabanik did a great job fighting off a block. I mean, there was a gain on the play. But Kabanik really has to work hard. There's a pancake block up the middle, and then also 27 out there too. Gubler out there with the stop.
2nd down and 7 from the 10-yard line in Kanab territory for the Beavers. Under 3 minutes to go here in quarter number 1. It's Bradshaw wide right. They're going to bring Radden out with him. Wheatley under center. Takes the snap, rides the handoff, keeps it himself. He takes a shot from Feder Kyle, spins forward down to about the 6-yard line, a pickup of 4 on the carry. Great push from the offensive line for the Beavers.
Yeah, and then on the tackle, he gets an extra 3 or 4 yards with the spin tackle, and does a really good job of keeping the ball alive, and again, stayed on the player, so he gets the extra yardage.
Makes it 3rd down and about 3. They're at the 6, and they need to get to the 3-yard line for the 1st down.
Almost. Yep, right on the 6.
They'll break the huddle here with 2:12 to go in the 1st quarter. Tighter formation now. Wheatley under center, takes the snap, gives the handoff to Hollingshead, gets hit. Looks like he's going to be close to the 1st down marker.
I don't think he'll have it.
Now, looking at the near side line judge, he must not have fell forward as he's going to be short of the 4-yard line to make it 4th and about a yard and a half.
So now decision time for the Beavers. The Kanab Cowboys gambled and went for it. What did the Beavers do? They can kick a field goal. They've got a good field goal kicker. He just kicked the next point from this distance.
Yeah.
But I think state championship, I think you'll see the offense.
Yeah, 4th and 2 for the Beavers. They're just inside the 5. They need to get to the 3-yard line, so about a yard and a half. Wheatley under center. Takes the snap, gives the handoff right side to Blackner, dives ahead, and he picks up the first down to the 2-yard line. 1st and goal for the Beavers.
Yeah, Blackner knew what he had to get. He didn't make the mistake of trying to bounce that out. He just dove forward. You see that sometimes. Kids will say, oh, hey, I've got that space. They bounce it out, get tackled for a loss. Blackner did a great job of seeing the seam, diving forward. 1st and goal.
1st and goal from the 2 for Beaver. 1:15 to go here in quarter number 1. 7-0. Beaver leads in the 1A state championship, looking to make it a 2-score game. Double tight formation. Wheatley takes a snap, rolls to his left. Quarterback keeper gets hit, breaks a tackle into the end zone. Touchdown, Beaver.
Wow, just precision and following blockers. He did a great job of not overrunning the blockers, went to the left side, then followed his big guys into the end zone.
So Bodie Wheatley from 2 yards out with the score to make it a 2-touchdown lead now for a Beaver. And Lerth on for the extra point. So he makes it into that Beaver Valley Chevron end zone. Your 24-hour AAA towing service and repair facility with top quality Chevron gas, tires, clean restrooms, and Dairy Queen for great food. A little bit of a high snap again. Hold is down, though, by Orton. Kick is up and good. So with 1:05 to go in quarter number 1 of the 1A state championship on the Beaver Valley Hospital scoreboard, Beaver 14, Kanab 0 on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and KSL Sports.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs. Just complete an application on your phone or computer, or stop by any branch.
My parents know nothing about gaming. I told them we needed Centricom Fiber because it's by far the fastest and most reliable internet speeds.
Hey bud, dinner's ready. Time to turn off the game box.
Alright, this round's almost over.
Live high school sports action on Centricom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
We're back here at the Eccles Coliseum on the campus of Southern Utah University. Not quite a quarter into the game, and on the Beaver Valley Hospital scoreboard, it's the Beavers 14, Kanab 0 in this state championship. Horner now on to kick it away for the Beavers. Federkyle back deep to receive for Kanab. Just the one back to receive with Anderson kind of an up back for him, and that was another great kick into the end zone. A little wind aided, as you can see the snow coming down. It is pushing north to south here, but still a great kick by Horner, and Kanab starts at their own 20-yard line, down 2 scores with 1:05 to go in the first quarter.
Well, 2 impressive drives for the Beavers after 2 defensive stops. 87 yards on the first drive. 74 on the first drive, and then only 45 on the second drive, as they had the great field position after the 4th down stop.
Kanab will come out of the huddle. They've got Anderson to the left. Center, the wing, takes the snap. Fakes the handoff, rolls to pass, looking downfield. That's going to be incomplete as he overthrows Hayden Gubler.
Yeah, tough pass for Roscoe. The receivers were covered. He would have had to put that perfectly. Did throw it in a safe space. It would have had to have been a miraculous catch, though.
So 2nd down and 10 now for the Cowboys as just 5 seconds come off the clock on that play.
If there were a spot for the Beavers defense that's been a little bit of a challenge, is that middle flat. The defense gives that up. And so, I mean, that's what the Kanab coaching staff is saying. We're going to try to hit that spot, and that's where the passes have been so far.
Willis goes wide left for the Cowboys. Verosco takes a snap, and a flag flies on the play. That's going to stop the play. I think it's going to be a false start against the receiver on this near side, kind of hunkered down right before the snap went.
Yeah, and you can see the snow starting to come down a little bit more. Not heavy snow, and it doesn't look like it's going to become heavy snow either, but just cold and miserable. So it is a penalty on the Cowboys.
3rd penalty on Kanab for 15 yards, 0 so far on the Beavers.
And you know, wing T offense, the penalty is really the bane of your existence because those 5 yards change your offense.
Yes. 2 receivers to the right, shotgun formation for Verosco. Takes the snap, heavy pressure from the Beavers. Third on the field for Gubler. Makes the catch, takes a shot on the play by Noah Wolf, but Gubler hauls it in for a Lumber Plus first down, but he's slow to get up at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, he'll be trying to catch his breath. What a shot Gubler takes right in the midsection. And Wolf does perfectly job. He wraps up the receiver, but what a shoulder to the midsection for Hayden Gubler, and he's still down. Hopefully it's just the wind knocked out. That's what I would guess, but that's a tough shot to take.
He took a big hit from Wolf, but great catch by Goober. Great job holding on to the football.
Yeah, some people say, why not a defenseless receiver? But what the rule says is that if you wrap your arms around
and bring him to the ground,
then that's, and it's kind of a textbook tackle.
Yep. Yeah, he played it perfectly, did Wolf, and Gubler, again, hopefully he'll be all right. As you see the defensive coordinator for the Beavers, Coach Hutchings, visiting with the Beavers on the one sideline, and then you've got the offense with Kanab on the other sideline. Gubler pops to his feet. He'll run off the field, so he'll be out for a play, but it looks like how he's moving, he'll be right back in shortly. Yeah,
just the wind knocked out. That's what it looked like. That's what I hope for each time.
And it's horrible to get your wind knocked out.
Oh, it is such a bad feeling. It's awful. You can't catch the breath. It takes a minute, but Gubler runs off. He looks good.
Receiver wide right for the Cowboys.
Big first down.
Yes, it was. 16-yard gain on 2nd and 15.
That erases the mistake on the offsides.
Verosco under center. Takes the snap. Fakes the handoff. Drops the pass. Throws the out route. That's going to be knocked away. Gage Radden there in coverage. Keeps it away from Troy Federkyle.
Yeah, Federkyle also did a good job of positioning because Radden actually had the inside lane on that, and Federkyle kept his body between the ball and Radden, who had played it very well.
So 2nd down and 10 for the Cowboys. We're just seeing them throw a lot on early downs.
Yeah. Well, and I think you have to. They really haven't had any success with the run yet. So they've got to get that defense just a little bit flexing so that they can find some spots to run through.
So 2nd down and 10 at the 31-yard line. Under center goes Verosco. The wing to the left, receiver to the right. Takes the snap, fakes the handoffs, rolls. Pressure coming from Reagan Bradshaw. Got a block, bounces to the outside, throws back across the middle. That's going to be caught by Federkyle for another Lumber Plus first down to the 45-yard line.
Now that was a great pass by Verosco because that receiver was not open, but the ball thrown perfectly in the spot where only the receiver could catch it. Yeah, definitely not open.
Great play there. Got a couple of key blocks to give him the time he needed as Reagan Bradshaw was providing some great pressure up the middle.
Whoa, and Federkyle goes way up. I didn't see that live, but on the replay, he went way up for that ball.
1st and 10 to the 45-yard line. They send Gubler in motion. Drops the pass, throws deep down the sideline, has a man in Kabonic, makes the catch. He'll be forced out of bounds by Horner at the 20-yard line for a 35-yard gain and another Lumber Plus first down.
Yeah, Horner with a stumble and the pass perfectly thrown on that outside edge. So Kabonic puts the Cowboys at the red zone.
84 passing yards already for Verosco.
How about that?
Yeah, in the first quarter. 6 seconds to go in quarter number 1. Hand off to Gubler. Gubler with plenty of room this time. Great push by the offensive line. Steps up in the middle of it, and he'll pick up 4 yards down to the 16 as the first quarter comes to an end. So after 4 straight Kanab passes, they pick up 4 yards on first down, and that's in the first quarter will end on the Beaver Valley Hospital scoreboard. Beaver 14, Kanab 0 in the 1A state championship. Second quarter coming up next on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network. TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom and KSL Sports.
Kern River Gas Transmission wishes the Millard Eagles good luck this season and reminds everyone that damage from others digging into a pipeline is one of the main causes of pipeline failures. Never guess where a pipeline is located. Whether you're a farmer, rancher, or homeowner, if you plan to dig, call Blue Stakes to make sure all utilities are marked. Call Blue Stakes at 800-662-4111 or the new national 811 number at least 48 hours before digging. Kern River Gas Transmission Company reminds you to call before you dig. It's free. It's the law.
School is back in session, which means cold and flu season isn't far behind. So stop by Service Drug today and receive your flu shot. They have vaccines available for all ages, and most insurances pay 100% of the cost. Service Drug also offers vaccines for other diseases, including shingles and pneumonia. Receive your injection in a private professional environment administered by licensed professionals. Let Service Drug provide your flu shot and receive a $5 coupon good on a $25 purchase and be entered to win a $25 gift certificate as well. Service Drug in Delta and Fillmore, dedicated to your good health and good value. Well, the Kanab Cowboys trying to make it to that Glazier's Family Market end zone for the first time. King County's full-service grocer, Glazier's Family Market in Kanab. Hand off to Gubler up the middle again. Another good push by the offensive line as he gets inside the 15 to the 13 to make it 3rd down and about 3.
Yeah, a really nice job just doing enough up the middle where there's a hole you can see. The line does a really good job, and then a lead block also. I can't get the number. I think it was Federkyle with a lead block to take out one of the linebackers. So 3rd and short.
Now you heard Coach Kornberg talk about Federkyle setting the tone as a blocker. You don't usually think about you think offensive line going to set that tone, but he immediately said Troy Federkyle.
And when he said it, I was kind of surprised.
Yeah.
And now you see why.
You heard Coach Marshall talk about his guard, says those key blockers leading the way there. Verasco rolls to pass, looks out to down the field. He's going to throw backwards, and it's going to be caught by Gubler inside the 5-yard line. Gubler goes down as he made a great play to get open. Orton brings him down at the 3-yard line.
Tell you what, another great play. As that ball was a tough catch. He initially wanted to go to his left in the end zone, well covered by the Beavers, and you got to credit Verasco coming back against the grain, and a tough catch by Gubler.
Yeah, great play by both of them. And Orton does make a nice tackle, but there is a penalty.
Yeah.
Going to be a hold on Kanab. So I didn't see the flag, but it is sitting there back at about the 16-yard line.
Yeah, I was watching the replay.
So it'll take them back to the 23 is where that penalty will take them.
And what a huge change of events with this. Instead of a 1st and goal inside the 5, now you've got that 3rd and 12 from the outside the 20.
Yeah, negates that big play.
Sometimes you see that with the reverse of field. You'll see the hold.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of a hold right there. Verasco sends Federcal in motion, rolls the pass again. Pressure coming by the Beavers, throws for Kabanik. Kabanik goes up, makes a catch. Blackner looked like he was going to be able to knock it away, but Kabanik holds on to make it 3rd and short.
Once again, going upstairs for the catch was Kabanik, and he went up high on that outside edge. It does bring up a 4th down decision time for the Cowboys, and Blackner there, just the sky-high Kabanik with the catch.
Make it a 4th and short, for the Cowboys. 4th and, I guess about 5. They need to get to the 10-yard line. They're at the 15.
Yeah, long 4, short 5. This is big.
Verasco under center. 4th and 5, takes the snap, rolls to pass. Looking, throws, has the man open. That's caught inside the 10 to the 5. Federcal to the end zone. Ball pops free. Glover jumps on it for the Cowboys. What's the ruling?
Now, it could be a touchback.
Touchdown, Kanab.
Yep. So they're going to say that he was able to fall on the ball and not go out and hold it before it goes out of bounds.
Let's see, and maybe they even discussed if Federcal kept the ball as he crossed the line, the goal line. We'll see where the ball popped loose. Ball's already on the ground right there, so it's not Federcal, but Glover came in and Glover jumped on it to be able to secure the fumble recovery touchdown for the Cowboys to make it a 1-score game. And now Ray Capson on for the extra point.
Well, that was the response Kanab had to have down 2 scores to the Beavers.
Snap is good, hold is down, the kick is up, and it is good. So with 10:21 to go in the 2nd quarter on the Kane County Hospital scoreboard, it's Beaver 14, Kanab 7 in the 1A State Championship on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and KSL Sports.
The holidays. And holiday trips. And holiday toys. And holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Find your red tag. Get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Plus, get $3,750 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle. See your Rocky Mountain Chevy dealers.
Live high school sports action on Centracom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back here to Southern Utah University as the Cowboys have reached the Glaziers Family Market end zone for the first time for the highest standard of customer service, the friendliest checkers in Utah, and fantastic in-store specials. Visit Glaziers Family Market in Kanab. An exciting way to score the first one.
No, it was exciting. You have the fumble in the end zone recovered by the Cowboys, and just exactly the answer the Cowboys had to have in this first half.
Now, Ryder Allen set to kick it away for Kanab. The back men for the Beavers, not too far back. It goes off the hands of Blackner, rolls to the 5-yard line, and he breaks through one arm tackle as he gets to the 15. Then a gang of Cowboys pull him down. So a short return for Beaver. They'll start on their own 15-yard line.
Yeah, Blackner had to go back about 10 to 12 yards, so that stopped all the momentum backwards. The kick was a low line drive, wind aid, and just went right through his hands. Had to pick it up at the 5.
So Beaver starts 1st and 10 on their own 15-yard line. 10:13 to go here in the first half on the Kane County Hospital scoreboard.
Now can the Kanab defense respond? So far the Beavers had 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
2 receivers to the right for the Beavers. Handoff coming to the near side. That's Blackner, and he just ran into a pile. He does fall forward to move the yard marker up to the 17-yard line for a gain of 3, or to the 18, excuse me, gain of 3.
Yeah, when you say runs into a pile, you can see just runs into a pile. He almost stops, waits, And then Orton from behind gives him that extra 1.5 yards as Wyatt pushes him down.
So 2nd and 7 for the Beavers. The wing to the right, that's Radden. Wheatley under center, and Beaver jumps on this one.
Yep. So now the penalty. Is that the first penalty of the game for the Beavers?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and that's a big one. Moves back to 2nd and more than 10.
Yep, 2nd down and 12, back to the 13-yard line. Need to get out to the 25, do the Beavers. Clock running under 9:40 to go in the first half in a one-score game.
Well, Coach Marshall talked about it. The penalties have been the Achilles heel of the Beavers all season long. And it's the 5-yard variety. It's that kind of a penalty.
2 receivers to the right. Wheatley under center, takes a snap, fakes the handoff. He's going to roll the pass. Pressure coming, gets hit, and down he goes. Was that Vader? Logan Vader came through, and Cash Kabanik finished him off. Vader with the initial hit, and Kabanik cleans the play up.
Yeah, Wheatley had no chance. There was a stunt and back, and the Kanab Cowboys got through, and Wheatley had no chance. Turned and evaded one, punished by the other.
A loss of 9 back to the 4-yard line.
It's a good defensive response by the Cowboys so far.
3rd and 21 for the Beavers. They'll go 2 receivers to the right, the wing to the left. Wheatley in the gun, takes a snap, rolls to his right, looks to come back to his left, throwing, has a man, and jumping the route. Glover picks it off inside the 20-yard line. Latimer Glover, the sophomore, continues his big game for the Cowboys as they're inside the red zone of the Glaziers Family Market end zone.
Yeah, the sophomore comes up clutch, as you mentioned, as Wheatley had to kind of adjust his route as the Kanab Cowboys played well. They were going to do a wheel route on the left side. That play was covered, so Wheatley tried to go up and over. Glover made him pay.
They'll start at the Beaver 16-yard line with a chance to tie the game up here in the first half. Trailing 14-7 are the Cowboys, but in business. Verasco under center. Allen in at fullback. He's going to give to Allen, right side. Bounces off one would-be tackler. Ball pops out, and it looks like the Beavers recover. Yes, they do.
Oh, man.
Coming up with it for the Beavers is Maverick Albrecht.
Wow. Albrecht with we'll have to watch the replay. I couldn't see exactly what happened, but that ball came flying out. Albrecht there so the handoff there, and oh, you know what? Hollingshead just stripped it. He had a hold of the ball as Allen went through the line and never let go, and the ball goes flying out. As credit Andrew Hollingshead with the strip.
Well, just less than 2 minutes have gone off the clock, and we're in the same place we were after the kickoff from Kanab. Beaver with 1st and 10 at their own 15.
At the 15. Exactly the same. Teams trade turnovers.
Wheatley under center. He's going to move the left side of the line and the wing. Takes a snap. Inside handoff coming to the near side to Radden, He's going to get up to the 20-yard line, make it 21 before Colton Blomquist brings him down.
Yeah, Radden hard running as he cut back in. Had to shake a tackle to get the gain, but a good gain on 1st down.
Yeah, pickup of 6 for Radden.
Yeah, great line blocking.
Got a Houston's Trails Inn Restaurant and Beaver Medical Clinic score update for you as the Utes fall to Colorado 49-24. Much closer first half, but Colorado pulls away in the second half. Wheatley under center, takes a snap, handoff on the dive of the middle. Glover delivers a shot again, but falling forward is that Orton this time to the 23-yard line for a pickup of 2. Makes it 3rd and about 2.
Yeah, Orton in the middle. Good job by Kanab plugging that up, not allowing for more yards. Orton had to do a kind of a sidestep to get the yards he did. The Utes have struggled this year.
Yeah.
It's been a rough year.
Yes, it has been. Going to have 2 receivers to the right with Radden splitting out as a slot. Wheatley under center, takes a snap. They pitch it out to the backfield to Blackner. Ball is popped loose, knocked away by Fetterkyle, picked up by Anderson, and he'll go into the end zone for the Cowboys. There is a flag on the play, and another flag flies in the end zone. Fetterkyle knocked it free from Blackner as the Cowboys read the play perfectly. Cooper Anderson with the scoop and score if it stands.
Yeah, I think you'll see that stand. That's in the area of, that's an offensive flag.
Hold,
typically.
generally.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it looks like probably excessive celebration in the end zone.
Yeah, they had a big group meeting in the end zone to celebrate the defensive touchdown.
Big play by Fetterkyle. Anderson able to scoop and score for the Cowboys. Here's the white hat with the decision.
What a momentum change.
Back-to-back momentum changes. Yeah. Cowboys are celebrating as they'll just ask the Beavers if they want to assess the 15-yard penalty on the extra point or on the kickoff. And so Coach Marshall going to come out and wants an explanation on the initial call because the official hasn't given us a call at all yet.
Right.
Hasn't given a signal to the crowd. Had a hold on Beaver that led to the touchdown. And then the unsportsmanlike conduct. So Ray Campson on to try for the extra point now for the Cowboys to tie the game here with 7:17 to go in the first half on the Kane County Hospital scoreboard. Anderson, who scored the touchdown, set to hold.
Yeah, what a play. Just strip the ball goes bouncing, and only Kanab players there.
Yeah.
It's a whole bunch.
Let's see, they want to get the right ball out there, it looks like. Must have still had Beaver's ball maybe out there instead of Kanab's.
That's what it looks like. Ball comes from the other sideline. What a great game. You know, it really looked like Beaver was going to take, control of this one 14-0, now 14 unanswered by 13 so far by the Cowboys.
Dave, did you see where Anderson picked that up at?
It was at the 23.
At the 23-yard line. So Anderson with the scoop and score from 23 yards out. Snap is good, hold is down, the kick is up, and it is good. And just like that, we're all tied up on the Kane County Hospital scoreboard. 7:17 to go in the first half in the 1A State Championship. Beaver 14, Kanab 14 on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and KSL Sports.
Vince Lombardi once said, "The measure of who we are is what we do with what we have." The quote rings true whether applied to our country, our schools, our homes, or on the field of play. We applaud our student athletes for their hard work and determination on the field and in the classroom. Brought to you by Sunrise Engineering, promoting excellence in sports and education. Visit us at sunrise-eng.com. That's sunrise-eng.com.
Live high school sports action on Centracom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
We're back here at the Eccles Coliseum in Cedar City. And let's see, I think the Beaver coaches are...
Yeah, they're putting the ball back farther because the penalty will go on the kickoff. So now you'll see it called.
There we go. Yeah, they hadn't done it. Yeah. And I think Coach Hutchings came out and said, hey, wait a minute here. You got to move that football back. Yeah. So that'll take them back to the 25-yard line is where they'll kick from.
Yeah, a big deal. And I know you get excited about a play, but a big deal and a mistake, and it could allow some pretty good field position.
2 penalties for 5 yards on the Beavers, 5 penalties for 40 yards now on the Cowboys.
Hey, but we're all starting over again. 14 all, and the Kanab kicking off.
Allen set to kick it away. So Blackner and Horner back to receive.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Allen with the running approach. Line drive kick. Good kick. Horner drops back to the 20-yard line to catch it there. Comes across the UAC logo. Out to the 30. Breaks a tackle to the 35-yard line before Federkyle and others wrap him up at the 37. And good field position for Beaver to start their next drive in a tie football game.
Good field position, but a good kick by Allen. That kick actually drove Horner back. And that was, it could have been a lot worse. That was a great kick.
So 37-yard line is where the Beavers will start their next drive. This 1A football state championship.
Man, what a momentum swings. You got the Beavers with all the momentum, then Kanab with momentum, and now see who gets it.
Wheatley under center, takes the snap, rides the handoff, gives it up, and across the 40 to the 42-yard line, gain of about 5 yards on the carry for Andrew Hollingshead.
Yep, 5 yards, good line block. He's engaged about 3 yards down the field, but then the offensive line continues to push, which allows for the extra yardage.
2nd down and 5 now for Beaver. Wheatley under center, takes the snap. Fakes the handoff this time, runs the option, pitches it off for Radden. Radden cuts upfield, lowers his shoulder as Kabonik brings him down to the 50-yard line, and that will be a Riverstone Contractors first down for the Beavers.
Yeah, how about Bodie Wheatley? That was a very tough play. Both were covered. He had to hold it to the very last second, kind of did almost a forward pitch on that one in order to get that down the line for Radden.
Riverstone Plumbing and Heating in Richfield, and now Beaver. They have the equipment and skills to perform a timely, high-quality service for residential and commercial jobs. 1st and 10 Beavers. Blackner goes in motion. Wheatley takes a snap. Inside handoff to Radden. He takes a big hit as Federcal got him low, and Glover delivered the blow up top, but he crosses midfield into Kanab territory.
Yeah, not much at all. Federcal did a really good job of coming back against the grain to grab the ankles and start the tackle.
2nd down and 8 after the 2-yard pickup at the Kanab 49-yard line. 6 minutes to go here in the first half. Tie ball game.
Everything we hoped for
in
a championship game.
Receiver left. They send Radden in motion. Wheatley drops the pass, rolls, pressure coming, throws deep downfield, off the hands of Orton, and it falls incomplete. Gubler was there in coverage.
Yeah, had the chance. Orton had the opportunity, just couldn't bring it down. Went up, and he could feel, was it Gubler coming.
Yeah, it just didn't quite fully extend to go catch that one, and that's where you might be a little bit worried about taking a shot in the ribs.
Well, that's the shot that Gubler took before. He might have given the same shot back to Orton.
They'll go 2 receivers to the right. Shotgun formation for Wheatley. Takes a snap, rolls the pass, throws. Ball got tipped, and it's going to go off the hands of the intended target. Is that Bradshaw out there as it falls incomplete at the sticks, and that makes it 4th and 8.
Yeah, catchable pass just went through the hands of the receiver. Now Beavers will be looks like a punt formation. Albrecht comes on.
So now we're seeing Beaver start to go to the air a little bit. Wheatley 1 for 4 for 59 yards. I've got Verosco at 8 for 11 for 107 yards.
Wow, that's a great start for Verosco.
Albrecht set to kick it away. Snap is good. Plenty of time. High kick, end over end. Kanab will let that bounce. It does take a Beaver roll right into the hands of Kabonik, and he's able to get some yards on the return as he's forced out of bounds at about the 18, but probably saved 5, 6, even maybe 10 yards off the roll.
I think it was a wise, it's always a little bit dangerous, but I thought he did a great job because that does go inside the 10, I think.
Yeah. When it takes those kind of hops, that allows you the ability to do that and have just enough space to get the ball out to the 18-yard line.
It takes a lot of guts to take it, though.
Yes, it does.
Take it and go.
Because you don't want to be that guy.
No, you don't want to be that guy that picks it up and drops it inside the 20.
So Kanab looking for their first lead of the game after trailing 14-0. They've come back to tie it. And now they have the ball on their own 18-yard line with 5:24 to go in the first half on the Kane County Hospital scoreboard. Verosco goes under center. Sends Gubler in motion. Takes a snap. 3-step drop. Throws the underneath route, back shoulder for Kabonik, and it'll be incomplete. Threw it too far back shoulder.
Too far back shoulder, probably not very open. Horner on coverage just was right in the back pocket of Cash Kabonik.
Almost looked a little bit like they didn't know that was the play.
Yeah, no, he didn't do that break to the sideline for that button seam. So
2nd down and 10 as Anderson brings a play call in from the sideline for the Cowboys. He'll split wide right. Federcal the wing to the left. Verosco under center. Takes the snap. Gives the handoff in the dive to Brown. Brown able to break through one arm tackle. Gets across the 20 to the 22-yard line for a pickup of 4, and that makes it 3rd and 6.
So 3rd and 6, a manageable down, but a little bit more than the Kanab Cowboys want, but not bad. You've got to keep the run going. They've gone to the pass. The pass is really what's opened this up for the Kanab Cowboys, passing and defense. And so, but they've got to be able to run the ball too still in this game.
3rd down and 6 now for Kanab. Under 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Willis runs the play in, and he'll split wide left now for the Cowboys outside the far hash. Glover tight right. Federcal the wing to the right. Verosco takes a snap, fakes the handoffs. Pressure coming off the edge by Radden. Hits him. Throwing it as Verosco. It's going to be intercepted by Orton for the Beavers, and he'll be brought down by Gubler. He stepped out of bounds. It looks like maybe at the 17-yard line, but the Beavers defense comes up with a big play.
Yeah, Verosco, he tried to make something happen in the grasp. Always dangerous. A sack would have been better. Now the Beavers in business inside the red zone. And just the pass rush, and then Orton with the interception and push down the field.
So they'll put it at the Kanab 16-yard line is where Beaver will start their drive with a chance to take control on the scoreboard once again.
What a game of twists and turns, Robert. Yeah. Holy cow.
Wheatley under center, takes a snap, fakes the handoff, quick pass on the little wheel route out to Radden, and Radden got tripped as he tried to cut outside. He tripped up and fell down at the 11-yard line for a gain of 5.
That was such a good move that even Radden couldn't manage that one. As you can see, He was holding Reagan Bradshaw with an outstanding block on the outside edge, and Radden was going to go in and then saw the block coming, went to the right, but couldn't quite catch his feet. Turf monster got him.
2nd down and 5. 4 minutes to go in the half. Wheatley under center, the wing to the left. Takes the snap. Fakes the handoff, keeps it himself as he runs the option. Got the pitch out as he took a shot to the edges. Blackner dives to the pylon. Touchdown, Beaver. Deegan Blackner. Blackner from 11 yards out.
Wow, Deegan Blackner. And once again, Bodie Wheatley at the right pitch at the right time. He waited till the last minute, and it gave Blackner a perfect opportunity to get to the end zone on the edge.
So Beaver back in control as they reach the Beaver Valley Chevron end zone. Proud supporters of Beaver High School, Beaver Valley Chevron. Now on is Lurth for the extra point.
That took no time at all.
Yeah.
Kanab still with an opportunity.
40 seconds off the clock is all on that drive.
That was it.
And looks like they only got Kanab to jump. Yes, they did. Lurth's kick actually, I think, went wide right even. So it'll be offsides, though, on Kanab. And Coach Marshall says we're going for 2.
Wow. Okay, here you go. Here's the gamesmanship. The Beavers go for 2. You always wonder what to do. You know, is the 1.5 yards, the Beavers saying, hey, we can get a 1.5 yards?
Yep, that's what they're saying here.
But then you wonder, like, can't you say we'll get 3? I mean, there's some teams that just don't even go for extra points. They just say we'll run it.
Wheatley in the huddle. Breaks everyone out as he goes under center. Going for the 2-point conversion. Handoff to the near side to Blackner, and he'll get into the end zone. 2-point conversion is good after the Kanab penalty. So on the Beaver Valley Hospital scoreboard with 3:47 to go in the first half, it is Beaver 22, Kanab 14 in the 1A state championship on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and KSL Sports.
Since 1947, Barney Trucking has built a reputation of unparalleled customer service and satisfaction in the trucking industry. Barney Trucking is now hiring drivers statewide, including Beaver, Millard, Sevier, San Pete, Juab, Carbon, Emery, Utah, and Salt Lake counties, as well as many other locations. The job includes a home daily schedule, excellent pay, benefits, training, retirement, a positive work environment, and requires a Class A CDL license with doubles endorsement. To apply, go to barneyjobs.com. That's barneyjobs.com.
Live high school sports action on Centracom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
We've had a thrilling first half here in the 1A state championship, and maybe a little more sloppy than we expected as each team now can have a fumble and interception, and a Beaver with a fumble and an interception. And both of them coming at crucial times and crucial spots in the field. Both teams made each other pay for it, and it's 21-14 or 22-14 Beaver lead.
Yeah, points after turnover are big in this one so far.
Horner with the approach on the kickoff. Line drive kick. Bounces at the 5, and it will get into the end zone. So Frederick Kyle, no return. Kanab will start on their own 20-yard line with 3:47 to go in the first half.
You know, Beaver with a very short field with that, just the 16 yards able to score. But it was just a couple mistakes with both teams. You know, a couple fumbles for a touchdown. That was essentially, an interception for a touchdown. And just gave too short of a field for the Beavers.
Yeah.
Both teams have given each other a touchdown in a short field.
Yes. 1st and 10 to the 20-yard line. Going to drop the wing back into the backfield. Receiver to the right. Verosco takes a snap. Handoff left side to Brown. And Brown will be drugged down after a gain of about 4 to the 24-yard line.
Yeah, Gage Radden slides in and takes out the legs. So stops a longer gain for Brown. There was a good hole on that one, which we haven't seen. Good job by the line on that left side. He went off tackle that time instead of between the guard and tackle.
Coach Kornberg, I don't think real worried about time. He does have all 3 of his Honey's Marketplace timeouts remaining.
Yeah, we haven't seen a timeout in this game. So.
No. Roscoe sends Frederick Kyle in motion right to left, takes the snap, gives on the dive to Brown again. Brown with some room this time, picks up a Lumber Plus first down, and dives forward across the 35 to the 36 before Hollingshead can bring him down.
Yeah, number 55, Nate Stewart. He actually had just a trap block that pushed, I think it might have even been Puffer on that outside edge, which opened up that lane. That's the first long run we've really seen for the Cowboys that I can remember.
He had a 9-yard run in his first run of the game, but that 12-yard pickup's the biggest of the game for Kanab. Verosco hands to Gubler. Gubler trying to get to the edge, able to step out of a tackle. Flag flies in the area of a hold. And Gubler going to be driven back. His forward progress will be stopped at the 35-yard line for a loss of a yard. But again, a flag flies on the play. It looks like it will be against Kanab.
Yeah, Orton was tackled on that one for the Beavers, so I'm guessing it'll be a hold.
It did happen at the line of scrimmage, so it'll take it back to the 26-yard line.
One thing I want to comment, and I try to point this out each time I see it, but both of these teams have been helping each other up. Really good sportsmanship on the field.
And it is a holding, so that'll take it back to the 26-7. Penalties now for Kanab for 52 yards in the game.
And that has a double bad for the Cowboys, because you've got the yardage. Obviously, it adds 10 yards, but it also adds time, to get that yardage back. So, with 2:49, you're trying to score. Beaver gets the ball, start the second half. That penalty's twice as bad.
Yeah, 1st and 10, 2 receivers to the left. Verosco hands off to Brown. Brown with some room on the outside, cuts back inside. He'll go down by, let's see, is that Wolf that makes the tackle? He dives ahead to get a pretty good gain out to the 34-yard line.
Yeah, there was a good block on the outside edge. Let's try to see who that is. It was the receiver coming back. So it was 24 Federkow with a great block. So once again, had to wait till the number cleared so I could see. I just saw the block. I didn't see the player.
2nd down and 12 now for the Cowboys after getting 8 yards on that play by Brown. 2 receivers to the right. Taking the snap is Verosco. Hands off to Brown, and I'm not sure what happened at the mesh point there, but he got tripped up as he got the ball handed to him, and Beaver delivers the blow as they push him back to the 32-yard line.
Yeah, Beavers take a timeout as well, but that play just didn't work out. Oh, do you know what? He might have been going to pull that ball, but there was a mistake either way as it stayed with the ball carrier. But it threw the whole play off.
Yes, it did.
Timing.
Loss of 2 back to the 32-yard line, and a Tony and Dave's timeout called. Your premier auto collision center in Beaver offers high-quality auto body and auto glass repair at pocket-friendly prices. Call 435-438-5409 for Tony and Dave's auto body in Beaver. And so Coach Marshall obviously saying, all right, let's preserve some time here, as he's planning on getting a 3rd down stop and the ball back.
Well, and it's a lot of confidence in your defense. What he's saying is, I think the defense can stop the Kanab Cowboys, and so we'll give them a free down and to see what they can do with this 3rd down and 13.
Yeah. 2 timeouts remaining now for Coach Marshall. Again, Coach Kornberg has all 3 of his Honey's Marketplace timeouts remaining. Cowboys will go 2 receivers to the right. That's Kabonik and Anderson. The wing to the left with Federkow. Shotgun formation for Verosco. Takes the snap, drops the pass. Here comes some pressure off the edges, throws across the middle. Anderson wide open, makes the catch, gets out to the T-Bird logo, and he's going to be right at the line to gain, looking at the far sideline, Judge. The near side has him about a half a yard short.
Yeah, they do. It's going to be 4th down and less than 1.
So they'll put it right on the 45.
Yeah, around the 45. So no reason for the Cowboys not to go for this one, in my opinion. Especially with a little bit of momentum for the Cowboys, I think they go.
They brought Anderson in to be in that slot receiver spot where they usually have Federkow line up. They kept Federkow in the wing, and that put a receiver out there wide open for 4th and 1 now for the Cowboys. 2nd time today they've gone for it on 4th down. Verosco, hard count, nobody jumps, looks to the sideline. 1:05 to go in the first half. They're going to move Federkow to the left side as a lead blocker. Beaver stacks that side. They give to Gubler. 1st down and more. Gubler breaks free to the 40, 30. Diving ahead as Horner to bring him down near the 20-yard line as the Cowboys come up with a big play on 4th and 1.
Man, that was a huge play around that left side. And instead of going right into the mix, great blocking up front. And Gubler just off to the races, and a great job by Horner and Blackner to stop the touchdown. Timeout for the Cowboys now.
Big play as now Honey's Marketplace timeout is called. Under a minute to go in the half. We're going to keep it right here, featuring specialty items like gourmet burgers, crab salad, smoked ribs, fresh cut fruit, and bakery bread made from scratch every day, groceries, and so much more. That's Honey's Marketplace in Kanab. So 33-yard run right there, Dave. Is that what that was? Appreciate Statman Dave, as Scott calls him that.
Oh, Statman Dave's the best. we love Statman Dave, but I want to point out that already in this game, both defenses have allowed more points than they allowed in the season. Yeah, crazy.
33-yard gain, 5 carries for 40 yards now for Gubler, and Gubler's so dangerous because he has that extra speed there.
He does.
And once he saw daylight, picks up a big first down. Verasco takes a snap, rolls to his right, looking. Here comes some pressure. Gets out of the pocket. He's just going to get that one thrown underneath to Kabonic. Kabonic makes the catch. He stepped backwards, so the clock remains running at the 20-yard line, down to under 40 seconds.
Yeah, and it makes Kanab call one of their 2 timeouts, and much better just to go out on that one. Just a reflex play.
He had to go so low to the ground to catch it that he chose to spin backwards when he actually got up, as opposed to maybe spinning forward.
You know, if you watch that replay one more time, his knee might have actually been down when he caught the pass.
That could be.
Yeah, the great camera work by our crew. See if we can see that one more time.
Another Honey's Marketplace timeout called by Coach Kornberg. He has 1 timeout remaining. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Cowboys. Coming out of this timeout, they did put a couple seconds back on the clock to 41 seconds.
So here's the replay. Watch when it switches to that close camera, those of you on TeamHive.live.
Yeah, that knee's definitely down.
Knee was down.
In fact, even shy of the 20.
Yeah.
So 2nd down and 8 coming out of the Honey's Marketplace timeout. Kanab trying to tie the game before the Jones in the Mill Engineering halftime show. Anderson splits wide left.
1 timeout.
Verasco goes under center. Federer has a fullback on the left side. Verasco rolls the pass, going to throw across the middle. Ball gets tipped in the air, nearly caught by Glover.
Wow.
As it falls incomplete to the turf.
Verasco just gets leveled as he throws that ball. We'll see who gets the hand on it. Verasco back, and Gage Radden on the backside hit as he threw, and then it looks like it was Andrew Hollingshead. Yeah, dangerous. So clock stop with 36 left.
3rd and 8 for the Cowboys. 2 receivers to the left. Shotgun formation for Verasco, the wing to the right. Takes the snap, drops the pass. Here comes some pressure off the right side. Removes, going to throw for the end zone. And off the hands of Noah Wolf, who looked like he was going to have it intercepted. Instead, it falls incomplete. 4th and 8 for Kanab, and we'll see if they want to go for it or maybe bring out the freshman kicker.
Well, 2 Beavers had a chance at that one. And again, one of those same plays, running to his left, comes back against the grain, throws it up. And, oh, yeah, so close as Wolf had it in hands. Just couldn't bring it in.
They are going to go ahead and go for it on 4th and 8. Down to 13 seconds on the play clock as they change some personnel. Verasco comes into the huddle.
They're down to 1 timeout, correct? Or
yes,
they have 2?
1 timeout left. 5 seconds on the play clock. They're not going to get this one off. They haven't called the timeout. Now Verasco takes a snap. The flag flies. You could see the coach hurry and look at the play clock and try to hurry and call timeout. Did they get it? That's the question as the back judge threw the flag.
I think he's going to give it to him. He came out and talked to him, so I'm not so sure that he didn't call it beforehand. I was watching the coach, and he had an engagement with the official before the play clock. The minute you said 5, I watched the coach.
They will go ahead and award the Honey's Marketplace at timeout. Award.
You might have said it correctly on that one.
Yeah, I might have.
Reward the coach with a timeout, because I mean that would be a critical mistake. 4th down and 8, already a challenge.
Yeah.
But 4th down 13, ever so much more difficult. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Honey's Marketplace, groceries and so much more. That's Honey's Marketplace in Kanab. 22-14 is your score on the Beaver Valley Hospital scoreboard, providing high-quality health care at a community hospital price, plus maternity, home health, hospice, and more. That's Beaver Valley Hospital.
Hey, the ER is going to be opened up in the next couple of weeks at Beaver Valley Hospital, finally.
Finally.
Yeah, 4 years later. Here we go. So you can
make life easier for you.
Oh my gosh, so much easier. We welcome the public back to a standard emergency room. So.
As we come out of the timeout, 2 receivers to the left.
This is big.
Wing to the right, Verasco in the gun, Gubler to his left in the backfield. Takes the snap. Heavy pressure from the Beavers. And down he goes. Orton hits him first. And the ball popped free. They didn't blow the whistle. They say it's a clear play. To the end zone to go the Beavers. Taking it all the way back. Maverick Albrecht.
Oh my
goodness. For a
goodness.
Beaver score with 16 seconds on the clock in the first half, and Brogan Verasco is still down for the Cowboys.
Holy cow, was that, and Verasco just was pummeled as he tried to make that play, and then Albrecht with a just a career highlight opportunity. The big fella doesn't get a chance much. That was a great opportunity from Albrecht. Let's watch this again.
Orton and Lopshire, I believe, are the ones that got there. That ball was out before he hit the ground, so touchdown stands as Albrecht with the touchdown for the Beavers, and it's a 2-score Beaver lead once again with 16 seconds to go in the first half.
I haven't seen a fumble TD all season long. Now we had two in this game. Now it was Titan Hunter with the big hit on Verosco. Yeah, he came across that side and landed on Verosco. I hope he's okay. That was a punishing hit. What a turn of events.
Lurth on for the extra point for the Beavers. Snap is good. Kind of a short extra point, but it goes through. With 16 seconds to go in the first half on the Beaver Valley Hospital scoreboard. Beaver 29, Kanab 14 in the 1A State Championship on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and KSL Sports.
Trust. Earning yours is our top priority. At Valley White Co-op and Ag, we support our growers and local communities with all of their propane and ag needs. Our expert energy group supplies residential and commercial propane services, including tank installs and monitoring, so you'll never run low or empty. Our local agronomy services include fertilizer, seed, and the expertise of a local crop advisor to meet your farm's specific needs. Valley White Co-op and Ag, serving the Delta Valley with integrity and customer service. Visit valleywhitecoop.com or call 435-572-0244.
Live high school sports action on Centracom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
This game has been up and down and all over the place as the Beavers led by 2 scores. Kanab came roaring back to tie it, and now Beaver back up by 2 scores with 16 seconds left in the first half, 29-14.
Yeah, Orton and Hunter on the tackle, and then Albrecht picks it up and goes. But the Beavers start out the game scoring 14 unanswered, and then the Kanab Cowboys answer with 14. Now the Beavers answer with 15.
Onside kick here by the Beavers. Rolling kick, and it will get out of bounds at the 25, so the flag will fly as Noah Wolf took out the
down marker
chain
guy.
man, yeah, on the near side, but looks like he's all right. So that'll give Kanab the ball at the 35-yard line with 16 seconds to go in the first half.
That was a bit dangerous. That ball was staying on the sideline. Kanab wasn't going for it, and lucky for the Cowboys, it went all the way out.
Yeah, Horner got some power into that one. We'll see.
Oh,
no, they're going to take the 5-yard penalty and the re-kick.
I like this for the Kanab Cowboys. I think you want the ball in the hands of Anderson and Brown. There's that, or Federer, I mean, sorry.
Yep.
And I think the Beavers will do exactly the same thing. I think they will keep this away from those 2 players. A little bit of momentum, I think you kick away.
So they'll kick from the 35-yard line.
Snow picks up again.
Yes, it does.
It's just light flurries, not anything of note other than misery. That's the only thing it's doing.
Horner again set to kick it away. Does put this one in the air a little bit, bounces inside the 30-yard line. Federer picks it up at the 21, runs into his own man, and Anderson breaks the tackle, gets to the outside, and he'll be brought down near the 40-yard line with 9 seconds to go in the first half.
Yeah, Reagan Bradshaw with a good tackle because Federer had a big lane on that Kanab sideline, and Bradshaw doesn't give up on the play and makes it. Like the last time, that kick just landed across the 30, bounced onto the sideline, didn't go out of bounds.
Yeah.
And Federer wisely picked it up.
They say he stepped out of bounds at the 36-yard line, so that's where they'll spot it here for the Cowboys.
So 9 seconds left. Did the Cowboys take a long shot, or do they just let the half end?
Yeah, you don't ever want to risk that potential for a pick 6 and be down 3 scores. Beaver running the player on late. That's Bradshaw. And Verosco, that's not Verosco, that's Anderson in at quarterback, will just take the snap. And Coach Marshall got the timeout called before the snap. So a Tony and Dave's timeout called by Coach Marshall, a 3rd-generation body shop with exceptional service to get you back on the road. That's Tony and Dave's. And that was, so it wasn't a timeout to stop the clock, it was a timeout to make sure they had 11 guys on the field.
Yeah, they did not have 11 as Reagan Bradshaw runs in at the end of the play. And
Fat Man Dave says he was the 10th player. So they were still missing.
Statman Dave says they're 10. There were 10. So I agree. So, so a lot of confusion for the Beavers. I'll bet that's situated now.
There are 11 out there this time.
I'll bet Coach Hutchings let a couple players know.
So Anderson at quarterback goes under center. He's going to send Gubler in motion, takes the snap. He is going to drop back to pass, throws downfield for Kabonik, nearly intercepted by Blackner, and it falls incomplete. 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Blackner had he been able to come up with that interception, that would have he had a pretty good sideline. He made a good play, had the hands on the ball, just couldn't quite bring it down. But there's no one in front of him.
Yeah,
that's the pick 6 you talked about.
Yep,
potential.
2nd and 10 now. Anderson takes a snap. This time he will take the knee, and that'll do it for the first half. We've got your Jones and Mill Engineering halftime show coming up next to the 1A Football State Championship. It's number 1 Beaver 29, number 3 Kanab 14. Halftime show coming up here on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network. TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom and KSL Sports.
I'm Dr. Winters, a general dentist in Richfield. I invite you to take advantage of our 20 years of experience when it's time to get your wisdom teeth out.
We offer IV sedation so you can sleep through the procedure. We are right here in Richfield, so we are close by for all your pre- and post-operative needs. We strive to make the process comfortable, easy, and affordable. Visit wintersdental.com/wisdomteeth or call or text 435-896-6444.
This is Nate Christensen at Zions Bank. We're not just your bank, we're your neighbors. And with a branch right around the corner, we're here for you wherever you are. For all your personal and business banking needs, come visit us and let us show you how Zions Bank is for you.
These days, kids do a lot of their homework online. They talk to their teachers, they receive assignments, and they do research, all from our kitchen table. That's why I chose Centricom Fiber Internet. They have the fastest and most reliable connection, so my kids can stay on top of their schoolwork.
As a urologist, my job includes treating kidney stones, diagnosing, treating prostate cancer, and other disorders of the urinary system. Here at CVMC, specialists and primary care physicians all work very closely together.
As a family physician, being able to have continuity of care and direct relationships with our specialists is something we're very fortunate to have here.
I'm Dr. David Sewell, board-certified urologist. I'm proud to provide state-of-the-art care here at Central Valley Medical Center.
Are you a new CDL license holder? If so, Barney Trucking would like to train and pay you to become a world-class truck driver on state-of-the-art equipment. They also provide you with reliable, courteous support, a fantastic wage, paid holidays, solid benefits, home daily schedules, paid time off, an excellent safety record, and respect. Dependable truck drivers have been Barney Trucking's #1 investment since 1947. Start your outstanding career by applying today at barneyjobs.com. barneyjobs.com.
This school year will be different.
This year, I'll do my assignments on time.
I will listen to my teacher.
I solemnly swear.
I won't eat any glue.
I'll do my homework every night.
Every night.
Research? No problem. School? I got this.
This year will be different. Visit Centricom.com to power your education with the best internet experience. Everyone succeeds with School to the Power of Centricom.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
Live high school sports action on Centricom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Beaver B-Steps entertaining the crowd here at halftime of this 1A Football State Championship. This is the Jones and DeMille Engineering, a halftime show supporting local programs in academic and athletic achievements, building relationships, and working passionately as a winning combination with Jones and DeMille Engineering. And at the half, it is Beaver 29, Kanab 14 on the Beaver Valley Hospital scoreboard in a very entertaining first half. Closer than the score shows, in my opinion here, Scott. But we've had turnovers be a big factor in this game.
Yeah, which we didn't really expect. These two teams have done a really good job managing those turnovers all season long. But in this game, we've had 2 defensive touchdowns, one scored by each team, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see it very often, but it's a lot of fun. But yeah, a little bit uncharacteristic, and I would have actually said this game would not be 43 points in the first half at all.
Yeah,
But
maybe at the end of the game, but
maybe.
Again, they scored combined 27 the first time around this season.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the defenses are better than they were when they played the first time. However, that's not how the tail has twisted this one.
Yeah.
As this one has a lot of different kinds of things. 29-14. Crazy score for halftime.
Yeah, it's not because the offenses are putting up crazy amount of yards.
No, not at all.
In fact, we'll look at those stats here in just a little bit. But let's go ahead and just jump into those. We appreciate. We've got Statman Dave here with us, along with Brad James here as well. Let's first look at the total offense for these two teams. As Beaver with the lead, Brad has them at 135 yards of total offense, and Kanab at 184. So 50 more yards for Kanab.
Yeah, in long fields. We were kind of talking about this at the break, but the short fields for the Beavers, they've scored 2 touchdowns on a short field, 45 yards and 16 yards. So short fields for the Beavers for 2 scores. Long fields for the Kanab Cowboys. And but
they had a short field opportunity and they fumbled it.
Yeah, they had with the first play.
Yes.
So we had an interception and then a fumble. But really interesting, because I would have actually said, watching the game, I would have said Beaver had a few more rushing yards, but it's actually the Cowboys with most yards in both rushing and passing.
And so we've got them with total rushing yards about even. So Beaver 71 rushing, Kanab 62. Passing yards, though, big favor for Kanab, 122 to 64 favoring Kanab. But yeah, pretty even on the rushing, and then Kanab with the extra doubling in passing yards.
Yeah, and I'm not sure this is really what the Kanab Cowboys wanted in the game. And you can see, I mean, the one interception was a dangerous one. They almost had another interception that was dangerous as well at the end of the first half. But not necessarily the game plan for the Kanab Cowboys. Now, they prepared, you can tell.
Yes.
They prepared for the passing game, trying to run against the Beaver High School Beavers. But on the same time, not their style of offense, which has resulted in some defensive problems.
Right, no, that's true. Let's look at the individual yardage in this first half here, Scott.
Yeah, first for the Kanab Cowboys, the visiting team, Hayden Gubler, 5 attempts for 45-yard net of 40. So he's doing a great job. 37 yards for Brown. And then everyone else is in the minus category just because of tackles for loss. So total of 62 net yards for the Cowboys. On the Beaver side of the field, you've got Deegan Blackner, 5 carries, 39 yards, 21 yards for Andrew Hindhead on 5 carries, 18 yards for Gage Radden, and then just some minus yards for Wheatley. Net 71 for the Beavers. So they have outgained the Beavers net by 9 yards. Excuse me, the Cowboys by 9 yards.
Okay.
On the passing side, Verosco, 10 for 17. Really, quite a great first half, 122 yards with an interception. A long pass was 35 yards. Kabonik with a total of 45 yards, 30 for Federkyle. Gubler with 19, 15 for Glover, 13 for Anderson. So Verosco doing a good job of spreading it out among his receivers. On the Beaver side, just two receptions. And Bodie Wheatley, 2 for 5. Not a lot of rushing for Wheatley. One long pass to Davin Orton, which was, a touchdown pass to start the scoring for the Beavers. Then Gage Radden with a 5-yard catch. 64 total yards for the Beavers in the air.
In the air. Yeah, and that was, again, 59 of those on that one.
On the one
play. So there you go. There's your first half stats here in the Jones in the Mill Engineering at halftime show. And 29-14 once again is your score. I mentioned the Beaver B-Steps. The Kanab Lariats drill team entertained the crowd a minute ago as well. So,
those are 2 quality squads.
Yeah, they are.
Both are great dancers, and I think you'll see them in some competition coming up this winter.
It's hitting crunch time for that group.
It is. I'm sure they're practicing night, day, and early mornings. So.
Yes. Again, 29-14 is your halftime score here in this 1A football state championship. Let's give you a Houston Strells and Restaurant score update and Beaver Medical Clinic score update. With a reputation for providing affordable, compassionate health care, the doctors and providers grew up in Beaver County and understand their patients. That's Beaver Medical Clinic, located in Milford, Parowan, and Beaver. And again, Houston Strells and Restaurant. We talked about it last week. If you haven't tried their country gravy, you're missing out.
Oh, you absolutely are. And I just got a text from Mickey Houston, and Mickey said that the gravy is now calorie-free for today. So if you run down to Houston's, you can get a calorie-free chicken fried steak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't
no
beat
carbs.
it. Can't
no
beat
carbs.
it.
Yeah. And it's gluten-free too.
Let's take a look at some of those other games going on in the college world as Utah State leads Hawaii 24-3, nearing halftime in that football game. And as we already mentioned, it was Utah falling to Colorado 49-24 was the final in that one. And looking at some other scores in BYU basketball, tight one against Idaho, leading 53-45. Is BYU in the second half.
That BYU team is predicted to be a pretty good team, but their game's been fairly close so far.
Yeah.
They've got to put it together, probably.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of talent.
They've had a couple of blowouts and a couple of games that probably should have been blowouts that were much closer than they needed to be. Utah Tech and West Georgia also underway. No score on that one down in St. George. Probably better weather there than it is here with the snow coming down here at Southern Utah. Speaking of Southern Utah, they're on the road against Central Arkansas this afternoon. That'll kick off in about 40 minutes from now. Weber State plays at Idaho tonight at 6 o'clock. So that's some of the other teams of what they have coming up here in Utah sports. And of course, also underway today, Snow College's final game, potential final game of the season. They're on the outside looking into the Final Four, trying to get into that JUCO playoff.
They're close.
Their 2 losses this season to number 1 Iowa Western on the road in a close game, and then to number 2 Georgia Military at home in overtime. So they've played 2 close losses. They're hoping to get some help today to move into that Final Four.
What are their chances? Good.
There's always a chance. Obviously it's not going to be Iowa Western or Georgia Military that they jump ahead, but they're needing, I think it's Northwest Mississippi to potentially drop off, or Mississippi Gulf Coast that are there as well. So there's a chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
There's a chance.
That's great. That's what we want for the Badgers.
That's right. So there's your Houston's Trails End Restaurant score update and Beaver Medical Clinic score update here in the Jones and DeMille Engineering halftime show. We'll take a break and come back and get you ready for the second half next on the Beaver Valley Hospital scoreboard. Beaver 29, Kanab 14 on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network. TeamHive.live powered by Centricom and KSL Sports.
Here in Beaver, Utah, we take farm to table seriously. Our cheeses are made using milk from family farmers just down the road and processed next door by artisan cheesemakers. It's what makes our cheese curds the best you've ever had. And when you visit our store off I-15, you'll feel our deep farming roots as you enjoy a meal, a scoop of ice cream, and farm to table cheeses. With outdoor seating and room for kids to learn about dairy farming and cheese making, it's the most fun you'll have on your next drive through Utah. Visit thecreameryutah.com to learn more.
Bose Auto Parts is a locally owned company, and their mission is to be the leading parts provider by serving their customers, team members, and communities through hard work, integrity, and striving for excellence. Bose Auto Parts has 5 key locations across Utah: St. George, Cedar City, Beaver, Mount Pleasant, and Saratoga Springs. Bose delivers to wherever you are and community you might be in. Between their stores, they have won 16 Platinum Awards, 4 Best of Iron County, 3 Best of Southern Utah, 2 Best Places to Work. That's Bose Auto Parts.
The quarterback counts on his O-line for protection in the pocket. In Delta, you can count on Farm Bureau agent Chad Drubay to protect your family's blind side no matter what life throws at you. Chad is there to handle all your auto, home, life, and business insurance needs. Don't scramble around working with multiple insurance companies. Talk to Farm Bureau agent Chad Drubay today and see how he can help protect what matters most. Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Property and Casualty Insurance Company, Western Agricultural Insurance Company.
Looking at Derek, he was starting to have joint pain, and so being able to offer him surgery, see that weight loss, see him able to spend time more with his kids and say, hey, yeah, I can hike a whole lot further and I can keep up with my teenager, and that's the most rewarding part of doing these surgeries. So I would recommend anybody that finds themselves struggling with weight loss, they're in that BMI of above 35 or 40, and they feel like they want to do more, they want to get this permanently resolved, come and visit with me.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs. Just complete an application on your phone or computer, or stop by any branch.
My parents know nothing about gaming. I told them we needed Centricom Fiber because it's by far the fastest and most reliable internet speeds.
Hey bud, dinner's ready. Time to turn off the game box.
All right, this round's almost over.
Kern River Gas Transmission wishes the Millard Eagles good luck this season and reminds everyone that damage from others digging into a pipeline is one of the main causes of pipeline failures. Never guess where a pipeline is located. Whether you're a farmer, rancher, or homeowner, if you plan to dig, call Blue Stakes to make sure all utilities are marked. Call Blue Stakes at 800-662-4111 or the new national 811 number at least 48 hours before digging. Kern River Gas Transmission Company reminds you to call before you dig. It's free. It's the law.
Live high school sports action on Centracom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Eccles Coliseum on the campus of Southern Utah University. Robert Lovell with you alongside Scott Langford on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network. TeamHive.live, powered by Centracom and KSL Sports. This is the Jones and DeMille Engineering Halftime Show, supporting our youth in their efforts to develop new talents and passions, paving the way to success. That's Jones and DeMille Engineering. And as we get ready for the second half, 29-14 is your score. Beaver with the 2-touchdown advantage over the Kanab Cowboys. And Scott, as we take a look now at what we can expect and what these teams need to do in half number 2, let's start with Kanab with the Kane School District keys of the second half.
I think Verosco, depending on how he does, he took a huge hit to end that first half, and he looks like he's up and moving just fine. But in the end, I think Kanab has to get their kind of game back in the second half. They're a running team. They've kind of gone to the passing team, and they've had some success with it. I'm just not sure that's their type of game, so I think it throws things off. That some of the intangibles, it's not what you would expect from a Kanab team.
We talked about Verosco right there. As we look at the Cowboys come out to get stretched, Verosco did stay on the sideline with a couple of other Kanab players, and now he's starting to work his way back out. Hopefully he'll get out there and we'll be able to see him play.
Yeah.
You never want to go out like that. Now they do bring out the rest of those players onto the field to get stretched up and ready for the second half. So
my keys to second half for the Kanab Cowboys would be they've got to be able to rush the ball and play Kanab-style football.
Yeah, so there you go. There's your Kane School District keys to the second half, providing students excellent instruction and empowering immeasurable opportunity. Kane County School District, every student, every day. Now let's look at the Mike's Foodtown keys of the second half for the Beavers.
Execution. It's going to be execution for the Beavers. They've got a 2-touchdown lead. They have the league's leading defense. And, all the advantages are in the Beavers. They have the ball to start the second half. It will come down to mistakes and execution. Can the Beavers just run this ball out?
Yeah.
This first possession might be actually, the key drive of the game. If the Beavers are able to take it down and score, they'll find themselves in rare air and where they want to be.
Right, absolutely. Your full-service grocery store providing fresh produce, quality meat, fresh bakery, deli, cold drinks, and ice cream. Mike's Foodtown also offers online shopping. Proud to sponsor Beaver High School Sports. That's Mike's Foodtown. As we get ready for the second half kickoff, again, it'll be Beaver receiving to start the second half, leading by 2 scores, 29-14 on the Beaver Valley Hospital scoreboard. Throughout today's game, we are looking for the State Farm Insurance Player of the Game for the Beavers, and that's yet to be determined except for maybe Maverick Albrecht.
Yeah, absolutely. With the big fella lumbering
70-yard scoop and score.
Absolutely. He's definitely a candidate.
Yeah, he is. And then, of course, the Timberline Restaurant sub of the game. Just one visit to Timberline Inn for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and you'll see why it has become one of the most popular restaurants in southern Utah. That's Timberline Inn Restaurant. And for Kanab, the Kanab Drug Player of the Game, featuring a convenient drive-through service, modern pharmacy, and soda fountain with ice cream treats since 1916. That's Kanab Drug. And so we'll see how this ends up playing out. There's been several nominees for players of the game for both of these teams. Latimer Glover having a heck of a game for the Cowboys, but they're wanting to get to someone like, as you mentioned, Hayden Gubler to step up, Preston Brown to step up, and maybe take control of that. And on the Beaver side of things, with that 2-score lead, they're content to do what they do, just slowly march the ball down the field.
Yeah, advantage Beaver because this is the type of game. The game style is a Beaver high school style of game.
Yeah.
The defense and offense both. And if you can make the Cowboys do something they're not too familiar with, that bodes well.
Horner and Blockner back to receive. They stand on their own 10, 11-yard line. Ryder Allen's had to kick it away for the Cowboys.
Beaver expecting an onside, it appears. Nope.
It's going to be a line drive kick. Blackner catches it at the 8-yard line, out across the 15 to the 20. Makes a cut inside the 25 as he made a man miss to the 40-yard line. It's a foot race down the near sideline. Allen giving chase, and He breaks free, does Blackner all the way to the house, and the Beavers have made it a 3-score game as they return the second half kickoff to start half number 2.
I have said all season long that Deegan Blackner is one of the most dangerous kick returners in the classification, and you can see he made a great move right at the start. After that, it was just a foot race, and he made the Kanab Cowboys pay. Made one move right there at the line of scrimmage, had one arm tackle he ran through. After that, it was field vision, went straight to the sideline, outran the player. Deegan Blackner, 92 yards.
Allen was close, trying to get him to step out of bounds. Blackner able to tightrope the sideline and take it to the house. A 92-yard return for a score for Deegan Blackner.
Man, have we had some big plays in this game.
Yeah.
Big plays.
30.
Unbelievable.
Low snap this worth's kick is going to clear the uprights.
Okay, you have got to see this. That ball was in Orton's hands off the field about 2 feet. Watch this replay. He kicks it out of his hands, not down on the tee. Okay, we'll have to back that up just a little bit. But that ball, and it hurt Orton's hands because it was not down on the tee. Unbelievable he got that through.
Great job by Orton and Lurth as a result. So on the Beaver Valley Hospital scoreboard, just 14 seconds into the second half, Beaver leads Kanab 36-14 in this 1A state championship. Now what that does for Beaver, obviously, is give them the 3-score lead.
Yeah.
But had it been an 8-minute drive that led to that touchdown, would have been even more devastating for Kanab.
Yeah, no.
It does keep the time on the clock for the Cowboys.
Completely true, but to put this into perspective, down by 22 points, the Cowboys will have to score 3 times what in the second half what Beaver allows during the whole game season long.
Correct. Horner set to kick it away now for the Beavers after another trip to the Beaver Valley Chevron end zone. Back to receive Anderson and Federer for the Cowboys. Kick is up, high kick. Federer comes up and takes it at the 9-yard line, across the 15 to the 20, tries to find a seam, found one to the 35, breaks through a late arm tackle and gets out to the 45-yard line, so a good return for the Cowboys.
Yeah, Federer doing what he can to bring the Cowboys back. He was one player away from answering the kickoff return from Blackner, so Federer, great field position for the Cowboys.
So the 45-yard line is where Kanab will start their next drive, and Brogan Verosco does come out that quarterback for the Cowboys.
So we talked about Kanab being able to play their game. Not sure they can down the 3 scores.
Yeah, we'll see what they do here. Verosco takes a snap, hands it off to Brown. Brown off the right side, trying to pull free. Couldn't pull the ankle free as he falls down to the 48-yard line for a gain of 3.
Yeah, that defensive front, Jex Puffer, Zayden Gillens, and Albrecht, just unbelievable. Those 3 have controlled that middle line of scrimmage.
Appreciate George Felter as that ties for the 12th longest kick return in championship game history.
Wow.
Great information.
That is. George Felt's amazing.
Yes, he is. Hand off to Brown. Brown takes a shot at the line of scrimmage. No gain as 2 Beavers are there to bring him down. 3rd and 7.
Yeah, Reagan Bradshaw and getting up off the pile, Jex Bradshaw. Cousins combined for the no gain.
So we're seeing the Kanab try to still go to that run game. Trying to get that established.
Well, that's what I think the coaches know that too. They have got to establish something to open up, a little bit of passing. But Gubler and Brown, they have the potential. Federer also, they have the potential to break any play open. Just haven't been able to do so yet.
Gubler just 5 carries in the game, 40 yards on those 5 carries. Brown with 11 for 40.
Yeah.
Verosco under center, takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Here comes some pressure from Hollingshead. Verosco able to avoid it, but then got tripped up by his own lineman who was in the backfield trying to block, and down he goes, a loss of 4 back to the 44-yard line for the Cowboys, 4th and 11.
Yeah, that was just a blitz coming from Andrew Hollingshead from the middle linebacker position, Reagan Bradshaw, and then Jex Puffer there on the tackle.
10:05 to go here in quarter number 3. Wyatt Orton rolls off the field for the Cowboys. Verosco is going to drop back and will kick this one away. Short kick as it bounces at the 30, and they're going to blow it dead right at the 30-yard line as Kabanik was there to catch it. So with 9:50 to go in the third quarter, Beaver takes over, leading 36-14 on the Beaver Valley Hospital scoreboard in this 1A state championship.
Yeah, decent field position. Where'd they put it? Right at the 20?
Well, about the 30.
30?
29, it looks like.
Okay. So a dagger drive opportunity for the Beavers. One score might just do it. So this is, it's already, heavily in the favor of the Beaver High School Beavers, but at the same time, Kanab still in it.
Wheatley takes a snap, hands it off to Blackner. Blackner tries to get to the edge. He gets wrapped up, bottled up, and brought down after a gain of 1.5 yards, make it 2 to the 31.
Yeah, not a lot of yardage there. And I think you'll see a heavy dose. I don't think you'll see much passing at all from the Beavers in the second half. I think you'll see runs and clock management.
So 2nd down and 8 now for Beaver.
And that's the advantage when with the lead, you can play your game.
Yes. Wheatley takes a snap. Gives on the dive this time. Going to be another gain of about 2 to the 33-yard line. And Davin Orton with the carry on that one.
Yep, Orton right up the middle. Not a lot of space there. Good job by the defensive tackle. Let's see who came off that one. Came off the block, 44 for the Cowboys.
Logan Vader.
Yep, Vader. Nice tackle.
So 3rd down and 6 now for the Beavers as Bradshaw splits wide right. Under 9 to go in the 3rd quarter. Beaver leading by 3 scores. Wheatley under center. 2 receivers right, takes a snap, fakes the handoff, going to keep it himself, comes back to the near side, got a block as he tries to get to the edge. He'll be run out of bounds by Kabonic at the 31-yard line, so a loss of 2 on the play to make it 4th and 8.
Yeah, broken play or good coverage. I couldn't tell which because it looked like he was pulling that ball to pass, turned to look. Yep, exactly. And what happened, what a heads-up play by Bodie Wheatley. On the replay, you can see he's going to do that quick receiver throw out to the flat. The Kanab Cowboy on the fly had the advantage. Smart move by the senior quarterback.
So 4th and 8, punt team comes out for Beaver. Snap is good. Plenty of time. Spiraling kick away. Anderson's going to take down his own 35-yard line. Gets a block. Tries to bounce to the outside. Got another block off the tackle. And he'll get across the 45 to the 46, 47-yard line as where Kanab will start their next drive down 36-14.
Yeah, good field position. The Kanab defense holds great field position on a nice kickoff return, punt return. Fake to handoff back to number 2, Kabonic. Kept a good field position for the Cowboys, 47.
And you'd view this probably as a must-score drive here for Kanab.
I think so.
Down 3 scores. Under center is Verosco. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, drops the pass, throws across the middle, caught by Glover. Glover will be brought down right near the line to gain inside the 45-yard line in Beaver territory.
Yeah, Glover hit very hard by Maverick Albrecht coming up from the backside. 2nd and short.
Yeah, they'll mark it at the 44-yard line to make it 2nd down and 1 yard.
That's the flat. Just that flat is open. Not enough yardage, though. Clock burners just with those 6-7 yard passes.
2nd down and 1 yard. Verosco under center. They drop Gubler at the wing. They send him in motion right to left. Takes the snap. And he gets hit as soon as he turned around. And Reagan Bradshaw with the tackle as Verosco never had a chance to even move.
Now, Bradshaw timed that perfectly, and Verosco, lucky he didn't lose it. Yeah, he could not get the handoff off because Bradshaw had a hold of both arms.
So losing 3 yards on the play.
Makes you wonder if they don't do a different snap count on that one, then it's a 5-yard penalty.
3rd down and 4 now for the Cowboys after the 3-yard loss. 7 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. The wing to the right, receiver to the left. Under center is Verosco, takes a snap. He's going to roll to pass, pumps, throws across the middle. That's going to get through the defenders into the hands of Gubler for a Lumber Plus 1st down. It went right between 2 Beaver defenders, and Gubler makes the catch, and now he is slow to get up at the 20-yard line in Beaver territory.
Yeah, Gubler stays down, and Bradshaw and it looks like Bradshaw and Bradshaw. 2 cousins meet on the field. Let's see.
Yeah, as it went through their hands, they collided.
Yep, the 2 of them.
And then I think it's Davin Orton who delivered the blow with a big tackle. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Whoa. Gubler just got taken down hard from behind by Orton.
It's a 24-yard gain.
I think the 2 Bradshaws being attended on the sideline on the Beavers and Gubler on the field. He was down on the field in the first half with
another pass.
Yeah, with the stomach wind knocked out of him. Hopefully it's the same.
3 catches for 43 yards now for Hayden Gubler. as they spot the ball at the 23-yard line in Beaver territory. 6:46 to go here in the third quarter on the Kane County Hospital scoreboard, providing care for the community with a 15-bed skilled nursing facility offering an astounding view while delivering the comforts of home. Healing happens here at Kane County Hospital. And again, Gubler is up and he'll run off the field. So that's a good sign for the Cowboys.
Yeah, we'd like to see that. It's always that you just kind of hold your breath hoping that it's just something that'll pass.
1st and 10 inside or at the Beaver 23-yard line for Kanab.
So they'll run the clock.
Receiver wide left. Verosco under center, the wing to the left. Takes a snap. Handoff going to go left side. Ball popped free, and it's on the ground, and it looks like Blackner has it for the Beavers as they tried to hand it off to Deegan Swap, and the fumble was recovered by Beaver.
Yeah, just it's Gage Radden, it looks like, who came up with the ball. And just things not going well for the Cowboys. The handoff on that outside, and that's just a new running back. And it's kind of one of those unforced errors. Just came out and then recovered by, you are right, Blackner.
Ball will be at the 24-yard line.
How many turnovers is that? 4, 3?
4 for
Kanab.
Kanab, yeah. Stops a promising drive for the Cowboys. Now Wheatley hands off up the middle on the dive, and it'll be blown dead after a gain of about 4 to the 28-yard line.
Kind of limping is Orton for the Cowboys.
It's Hollingshead on the carry. Hollingshead 6 carries for 24 yards on the day.
The Beavers have... you can see the stats are not high for any one running back in the Beavers, including Wheatley. It's all just spread out because you just don't know who to tackle.
Under center is Wheatley, hands it off left side, and Orton's going to dive ahead. Looks like he has enough for a Riverstone Contractors first down to move the chains.
I think Orton anticipated, he comes off smiling. Orton anticipated a hit as he put all of his momentum forward. No one there, and he couldn't keep his balance. You can see he went right in and just got his legs underneath him. And but able to get to the first down.
Call Peter Riverstone Plumbing and Heating at 435-896-6264. 1st and 10. They send Radden in motion. Wheatley's going to pitch it out to Radden. Tries to get to the edge. Got a block. Cuts back inside. Flag flies on a likely hold as he's going to get about 13 yards downfield. But again, a flag sitting back at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Troy Federkyle on the outside edge said, I'm being held, picked up his hands while he was being engaged in the block. And, got the call. Not saying he asked for the call. I'm saying the call was made.
Yes.
Made it sound like I said he begged it and got it. No, it was on the outside.
Just the 4th penalty on Beaver for 20 yards. Compare that to 7 for 52 on Kanab.
Yeah. Now, better job by the Beavers in this game with the penalties. Yep.
So it makes it 1st and 20 from their own 24-yard line. 5:26 to go in the third quarter, with Beaver leading 36-14 after returning the opening kickoff of the second half back for a touchdown. Wheatley's going to roll to pass, throws that to the out route. That's going to be caught by Bradshaw. Anderson will force him out of bounds at the 28-yard line and stop the clock as a result.
Yeah, so gets a few of the yards back, not too many. Bradshaw unable to turn and go. I mean, the design is to give an opportunity to the receiver to get a chance to make it. But Federkyle and Anderson both right there on coverage. There was really no space for Bradshaw to turn.
4-yard pickup makes it 2nd down and 16 for the Beavers. 5:16 to go in the third. Under center, Wheatley takes the snap. Inside handoff on that counter play comes to Radden, and he takes a shot on the play. Isaac Clarkson delivered the blow on that one for the Cowboys.
Boy, that was a punishing blow. Clarkson just filled the hole, and no chance. Watch this hit. For those of you on Team Live, Radden goes backwards.
A loss of a yard.
Great hit. These two teams are hard-hitting football teams.
Yes.
You see the fundamental tackling, but there is no soft tackles on this field this afternoon.
3rd down and 17 for the Beavers at their own 27-yard line. They send Bradshaw wide right. Clock running to 4:35 to go in the quarter. Radden the wing to the left, 3 seconds on the play clock. Wheatley gets it off, hands off to Orton with a big hole to run through. He'll be brought down near the 40-yard line to make it 4th and 5 at the 39.
Yeah, 4th and 5. I would suspect the Beavers will punt. The punt team is coming out on the field, so 4th down and 5.
12-yard pickup for Orton, but as you mentioned, the punt team does come out for the Beavers. They're going to let that play clock continue to wind down, let the clock run as Kabanik and Anderson drop back to receive for the Cowboys.
I think it was Swap on that tackle. Did a good job coming from the outside back to tackle Orton on the last play.
They don't let the play clock run down, and the ball goes through the legs of the punter, and he's able to get the punt off, but it's going to be taken by Clarkson, and Kanab has it at the Beaver 40-yard line. I think Glover might have got a hand on the kick as Albrecht was trying to kick it away.
Yeah, the snap came back. Albrecht couldn't quite handle it. It came back fast, and let's see if he gets a. He kind of one-hopped it as the ball dropped on the ground. He kicked it as it hit the ground. And so Kanab with prime field position still in this one.
1st and 10 of the Beaver 40. Barasco under center. Takes the snap. Gives to Brown. Brown tries to run over the top of a pile-up. And the play will be blown dead at the 38-yard line after a gain of 2.
Yeah, just nothing there up the middle. The Cowboys have had a couple runs, but realistically, up the middle, the Beavers' defensive line has owned that part of the line of scrimmage.
I think that was Andrew Hollingshead, and Jex Bradshaw came in and just blew that play up, and Stewart's now down for the Cowboys. Looks like maybe they're acting like potential cramp, maybe. Yeah, they're going to try to stretch him out.
Yeah, that's the other thing I like seeing is no injuries, just a cramp. We can get past that one.
3:30 to go here in the 3rd quarter of this 1A state championship. Beaver leading 36-14 on the Beaver Valley Hospital scoreboard. Coming up next here at Southern Utah University is the 2A state title game, and that'll be number 1 San Juan versus number 2 Emory. Two teams that like to air it out. They can run it too. San Juan very effectively can run it as well with Jagger Neves there at that running back position, but those two teams played a semifinal game a couple years ago here that was
one of the best I've ever seen.
Oh my goodness.
Was it like 600 yards?
Yeah, very high scoring
600
game.
or something.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah. Each.
Each. Yeah, it was like 560 and 620 or something like that. But the big question for everybody is, can anyone stop San Juan? No one's really been able to do so in the classification. Can anybody stop the Broncos?
Yeah. Last chance is Emory.
Yeah, this is it.
Nate Stewart will get off the field now for the Cowboys, and he's rocking well, so that'll be good news for the Cowboys as they hope to get him back in. He's a great lineman.
Yeah.
Both sides of the ball for Kanab. As they come out of the huddle, Verosco will go under center, Glover tight right. Federer is a fullback. Verosco takes a snap, gives to Gubler, runs the flea flicker, back to Verosco, off the bounce. Kabanik is open inside the 10. Touchdown, Kanab. A flag on the play as Verosco is down.
Roughing the passer.
And it's the touchdown will stand, says the white hat, as the Cowboys, and now Verosco came to his feet, now goes back down to the turf.
Yeah, so on this play, the ball comes bouncing back. It was supposed to be a flea flicker, and but the ball came back oddly. Verosco was able to get it and throw down. So I guess they'll decline the penalty.
Verosco is
little magic for the Cowboys.
Yeah. Keeps hope alive here with 3:12 left in the 3rd as Kabanik was wide open and Verosco delivered the pass, took a shot on the play. The Kanab coaches are talking to the far sideline judge, saying that they'll. Let's see where the flag is now, what the white hat says here.
We're in the field with a touchdown. During the play, we had a personal foul. Roughing the passer on the defense. Number 64. We will take that on the extra point.
So they can still take the roughing the passer, and that'll make it 1.5 yards. So Kanab going for 2 here to try to make up that other point when Beaver went for 2. Anderson in at quarterback after Verosco took the shot. Anderson gives to Gubler, steps into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. And that makes it now a 36-22 ball game as the Cowboys with a flea flicker and the 2-point conversion penalty aided to make it a 14-point game on the Kane County Hospital scoreboard with 3:12 to go in the 3rd on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom and KSL Sports. School is back in session, which means cold and flu season isn't far behind. So stop by Service Drug today and receive your flu shot. They have vaccines available for all ages, and most insurances pay 100% of the cost. Service Drug also offers vaccines for other diseases, including shingles and pneumonia. Receive your injection in a private professional environment administered by licensed professionals. Let Service Drug provide your flu shot and receive a $5 coupon good on a $25 purchase and be entered to win a $25 gift certificate as well. Service Drug in Delta and Fillmore, dedicated to your good health and good value.
Live high school sports action on Centracom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
We're back here at Southern Utah University's Eccles Coliseum. 36-22 your scores. The Cowboys with a flea flicker and a two-point conversion to stay in the game with 15 minutes and 12 seconds left.
That makes it very interesting. 2 scores.
Ray Capson on to kick it, looking for the onside kick. High one, and it's going to go out of bounds. And this is when they went out of bounds before the 35, in front of the 35.
So now they can take it from wherever it goes out.
Yep, which you would think that they would do.
Sure. 41. I'm sure Beaver will take it right at the 41 and be happy. So on that touchdown play, we didn't get to talk about it too much, but the flea flicker comes in, and it actually bounces off the turf for the Cowboys. It bounces perfectly back to Verosco, which gave him the opportunity to throw the wide open pass. Great job. And I like the play call.
Yeah.
You know, Beaver sold out on the run, and Kanab caught him over the top.
So they do assess the 5 yards where it went out of bounds. So 46-yard line is where Beaver will start their drive with 3:12 to go in the third quarter, leading 36-22.
Yeah, still interesting, this one.
They've got 2 receivers to the right. Wheatley under center. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He's going to drop to pass, throws deep down the sideline, and Radden takes it away from the defender. Down the sideline he goes, and the Beavers are back to the Beaver Valley Chevron end zone.
Gage Radden just takes it away. It's a stolen ball for Gage Radden as Kanab had that one. Radden pulls it up over the top and goes in for the touchdown.
A 54-yard touchdown pass. It looked like it was going to be an easy interception for the Cowboys, and Radden takes it away as the ball popped up in the air, and Radden came down with it.
How about Gage Radden? He's a wrestler. He's a state champion wrestler, and he played a little bit of basketball on that one. Went up high, took it to the top of the throw. How many yards? 54?
54. Lurth for the extra point with 3 minutes to go. A 12-second drive for the Beavers. Kind of another just step and try to punch it through the uprights, and it's good from Lurth. So 3 minutes to go in the third quarter on the Beaver Valley Hospital scoreboard. It is Beaver 43, Kanab 22 in the 1A state championship on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and KSL Sports.
The holidays. And holiday trips. And holiday toys. And holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Find your red tag. Get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Plus, get $3,750 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle. See your Rocky Mountain Chevy dealers.
Live high school sports action on Centracom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back here to Eccles Coliseum at Southern Utah University as the high-scoring affair continues. 43-22, Beaver with the 3-score lead after a 12-second drive.
In the defensive matchup, it's an offensive onslaught.
Short kick this time. Anderson on the run, fields it, and he'll be brought down to the 29-yard line. Good hit by the defense, or the kickoff team for the Beavers, make it the 28-yard line where Kanab will start their drive.
This game has some of the most craziest things I have seen. The plays are wild, and this is one you'll have to go back and watch. This is a great game.
In 51 seconds, each team has scored.
That's true. So this is the 21st possession of the game. Is that what you have?
Yes.
21 possessions.
Verosco under center, takes the snap. Here's that counter crisscross play to Federkyle as he bounces outside. He'll be wrapped up by Blackner and brought down after a gain of 7 to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, good run by Federkyle as he hit that seam on the edge.
First carry of the game for Federkyle.
Yeah. Glover tries to hit Albrecht, but Albrecht blows through the block. Blackner sneaks up for the tackle, he and Orton.
So 2nd down and 3 now for the Cowboys. Under center goes Verosco. Takes the snap. Handoff comes near side to Gubler, hitting the backfield, and down he goes. Radden cleaned it up. Bradshaw delivered the initial hit.
Yeah, nothing there. You know, it was a high-low tackle. Gubler trying to get the edge, but he got hit ankles and then cleaned up by Radden up top.
Loss of 2 on the play. 2 minutes to go in the quarter. 43-22 Beaver.
This game's much longer than I expected it would be.
Yeah.
I would assume it would be over by now.
Yeah.
But we're still got a quarter left.
Federcal goes in motion. Verosco takes a snap. Pressure coming. Throws for Federcal. Makes the catch. And he'll pick up the first down across the 40 before being brought down out of bounds at the 40. Let's see where they spot it. 45-yard line for a Lumber Plus first down for the Cowboys.
Yeah, great play. Verosco again has to make a great play as he is hit immediately. Just gets it away. And really great job by Verosco hanging in there. He got hit hard again.
Make it the 44 for a gain of 11. Verosco now over 200 passing yards in the game.
Wow, what a way to end your high school career.
Yeah.
If you're Brogan Verosco, crazy.
1st and 10. Kanab. Verosco rolls. Looks to throw back. He's going to throw back, but it's nothing but Beavers there, and they knock it away from each other as Blackner and Orton both had hands on it, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, Verosco threw that one up for grabs, and the 2 Beavers.
So I'm going to come back. You said to end your high school career for Verosco. One more year, just a junior.
Okay, well, he gets one more eligibility.
Yeah.
I forgot about his gray shirt here. A lot of really great seniors on this Kanab team. Fortunate for the Cowboys, though, Verosco not one of them.
Yeah.
I knew it as soon as I said it, and then I was like, well, hopefully no one noticed.
2nd and 10 for Kanab, 1:31 to go in the third quarter, down 21, 43-22. Verosco under center, takes the snap. Counterplay goes to Federcal, bounces to the outside of the stiff arm on Orton, lowers the shoulder, and he'll be brought down across the 50-yard line into Beaver territory. That Blackner that brought him down.
Yep, good job by Federcal going out to the left side. Just a little straight arm, avoided the ankle tackle on the first one, couldn't avoid the second one.
Make it a right at the 50-yard line, so 3rd down and 4 now for the Cowboys after the 6-yard pickup. Willis goes wide right. Verosco under center, the wing to the left. They send Federcal in motion. Verosco rolls to pass, pressure coming, throws back on the screen, and it's going to be incomplete as he was looking for Brown, and Orton was there, nearly picked it off.
Boy, Orton knew that was coming. As he was in the right position. He watched and then stepped back up. Kanab killed the North Summit Braves on this same play. The Beavers obviously prepared for it. Orton in the right spot that time.
So 4th and 4 for Kanab.
A big 4th down.
Kabonik wide right. Verosco under center, double wing set. Sends Federcal in motion left to right. Rolls the pass, pressure coming. He had no time again, and the pass is incomplete as he looked for Troy Federcal. And turnover on downs for the Cowboys. Beaver takes over on the 50. The Kanab coaching staff wanted a pass interference penalty on the play.
They might have a case, actually. I mean, it's possible. Don't know.
But the turnover
Doesn't
on
really
downs
matter. It's turnover on
stands.
downs, that's correct.
Beaver takes over at the 50 with 46 seconds left in the third. Coach Kornberg and others still pleading their case with the officials, but Beaver first down and 10.
The only thing I can't see is if Radden tips the ball. That's the one thing I couldn't decide from here.
And now a flag will be called on the Kanab sideline.
Yep. So probably a sideline warning, I would guess, just a first flag. It all depends.
Yep. There's the sideline warning.
The sideline warning is one of those calls that, I don't know how I feel about it. This is the right time for that call.
Right.
A non-penalty warning.
Yep. Wheatley in the gun, takes a snap, quarterback keeper off the right side, cuts inside. He gets hit by Willis, moves forward as 3 more Cowboys jump on, and they help move him downfield for a Riverstone Contractors first down.
Yeah, just conservative football for the Beavers, and now Wheatley is asking to come out. That might have hurt. He's had a shoulder injury all season long, and he might, looks like he's holding that right arm. Yep.
Picks up 12 yards on the run, does Wheatley. First and 10 at the Kanab 38-yard line. See Davin Orton going at the quarterback position with 25 seconds to go in the third quarter. Beaver needs to run one more play here in quarter number 3.
Yeah, Wheatley being attended to. He's hanging that right arm. That's happened a few times during the season. He's got a torn labrum.
Orton under center, takes a snap, gives on the dive to Hollingshead. Hollingshead breaking tackles, high stepped out of another one, and he'll be brought down after another Riverstone Contractors first down to the 27-yard line.
Yeah, the Cowboys went high on Andrew Hollingshead, and he just kept his feet moving, the momentum on that left side. And, he would have been short by a ways for the first down, except for the high tackle, and then Hollingshead with all of the advantage.
And that will be how the third quarter comes to an end. So through 3 quarters of play on the Beaver Valley Hospital scoreboard, it's Beaver 43, Kanab 22 in the 1A state championship on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and KSL Sports.
Vince Lombardi once said, "The measure of who we are is what we do with what we have." The quote rings true whether applied to our country, our schools, our homes, or on the field of play. We applaud our student athletes for their hard work and determination on the field and in the classroom. Brought to you by Sunrise Engineering, promoting excellence in sports and education. Visit us at sunrise-eng.com. That's sunrise-eng.com.
We're back here at Southern Utah University's Eccles Coliseum with 12 minutes to go in the game. It's all Beaver, 43-22.
Yeah, it's been a wild game. One more quarter left, and I don't even know what might happen the way this game has gone. Could be anything.
Handoff going to come right side to Blackner, and Blackner able to break through a couple of arm tackles, gets across the 25 down to the 22-yard line for a pickup of 5.
I think one of the things you're seeing, because Kanab is such a great fundamental football team, I think they're going for the strip on the ball carriers. So, I mean, they have to go high for that. And so I think you'll see a little bit more of the high arm tackles. They've got to create some turnovers and quickly if they want to get back in this.
So second down and 5 now for the Beavers at the Kanab 22-yard line. Wheatley under center as he is back in the game. Hands off to Orton up the middle, and Orton will be brought down, but ball did come free. Kanab says they have it. Let's see what the officials decide. And they say Kanab football. So as you say it, Kanab able to force the turnover, and the Cowboys come up with it at their own 20-yard line.
You are not going to want to.
That ball actually came out, kind of ran to the back of his own lineman, and the ball popped free right there, and Kanab with the recovery.
Yeah, the ball was sitting there. No one really saw the ball for a while, and then at the very end, someone just jumped on it.
So Kanab with still some life. They start on their own 19-yard line. 11:18 to go in the game. Verosco takes a snap, gives right side to Ryder Allen. He gets to the 20 and driven back, making the 21 for a gain of 2.
Yeah, gain of 2. Still tough sledding up the middle against Puffer, Gillens, and Hunter. Albrecht.
Second down and 8 now for Kanab with under 11 minutes to go, down 3 scores. They do have Wolf playing that high safety. The corner's off deep on the far side with Horner. Verosco does roll to pass, going to throw an underneath route outside the hands of Willis, out of bounds. It falls incomplete.
Credit Davin Orton. He dropped into the zone and into the flat, and so that stopped the quick pass. He had to throw it on that outside edge to see if he could get it to the receiver because Orton's standing there.
Yeah. So third down and 8 for Kanab. 10:41 to go in the game. Their own 21-yard line. Tight left, wing to the left. Verosco goes under center. Receiver to the right. Takes the snap. Hand off to Grubler. Comes back to defender. Kyle on the counter. Crisscross. He has a first down and more. Jumps past the defender across the 40 to the 45-yard line. A flag flies. Probably on that jump, maybe.
Could be.
You can't jump over a defender that's going to make a play. They have to already be on the ground.
Right, and we'll look at the replay. The Kanab coaching staff saying, hey, that guy was already on the ground. If there's a knee on the ground, then it's not a penalty. They might be waving this one off, I'm guessing.
Now, well, let's see.
There is no flag for hurdling.
Yep.
We can see on the replay what it was. Beaver got this last week. Gage Radden jumped over a player that was down on the ground, but got the call. Either way, here it is.
And it was one that wasn't like a big hurdle over him. Well, yeah, it was. That one probably should have stuck.
Yeah, probably should have.
But instead, it's a 25-yard run for Federcal for the Lumber Plus first down. And now rolling to passes, Verosco has time, but now he's going to be wrapped up. Ball pops loose again, and it'll be Federcal that recovers it as he picks it up at the 35-yard line for a loss of 11 on the play.
The Beaver defensive line has just been sensational today. You know, throw the linebackers in there too. The defensive scheme that has been designed has been just perfect. They are not rushing a lot of extra players. People think they're blitzing. They're not blitzing. This is a standard defensive package for the Beavers. So, and when you can do that without the blitz, it's devastating.
So second down and 21 now for Kanab. Verosco under center. Takes the snap. There's that counter play again to Federcal. Just got tripped up. Davin Orton got his shoestrings. And falling forward is Federcal to the 42.
Yeah, Federcal, amazing that he was able to keep his balance and get the yardage. Orton with that shoestring trip, as you mentioned.
4 carries for 45 yards now for Federcal. All in this half. Still just 6 carries for Gubler. He's taken a couple of shots on some passing plays. But just the 6 carries for 38 yards.
Yeah, not what we are accustomed to seeing with Gubler.
Roscoe rolls to pass. Steps up, throws. That one's going to be caught by Willis, able to hold on to it as Horner delivered a hit. And that'll make it to the 50-yard line, 4th down and 6 for the Cowboys.
Yeah, great job by Horner closing on the receiver, not allowing any yards after the catch, but a tough grab for the receiver as Horner just a bang-bang play from the defensive back. Beaver's done a really good job with that today, just the bang-bang on the receivers.
4th and 6 now for Kanab at the Beaver 50-yard line. They already turned it over once at the 50 in this second half. Verosco under center. Takes the snap. Here's that counter play. They pitch it back, though, to Verosco. Instead, he throws deep for Kabonic. Kabonic has a step, makes the catch, and then it pops free as Wolf was able to get a hand in and pop it out. It falls incomplete inside the 10-yard line. Beaver football on the 50.
Wow, that was perfectly thrown. The defense was good. They did not bite on the flea flicker this time. And Verosco throws a nice ball. Let's see if we can see it on the replay. As a Kabonic with Wolf right there at the last minute. Wolf, both arms down, strips that ball, pins that right arm to the side.
So for the second drive in a row, Kanab turns the ball over on downs on the 50-yard line. Beaver takes over with 8:18 left, still leading 43-22.
Yeah, 3 minutes off the clock on that drive. Kanab can't come up empty.
Receiver to the right. Wheatley in the gun, takes a snap, tries to avoid the hit in the backfield by Clarkson, able to do so. Flag flies on the play. Now Wheatley will go down and stay in bounds in the process. He's going to lose 2 yards, but again, a flag in the backfield.
Yeah, I think it's either a holding or a face mask. I think it'll be a holding, but that's the only two possible plays.
Yeah, I didn't really see anybody near the face mask area trying to make the tackle when the flag came in, at least.
They are talking to the Kanab coaching staff, so holding. Yep. You know, the problem with accepted penalties, you get the time too.
Yep.
But I think you have to do it.
No, they're leaving it at so a loss of 2 to the 48.
Yeah, so they'll take the time rather than the yards.
So second down and 12 for the Beavers at their own 48-yard line.
Looks like Lopshire comes off limping a little. So Gabe Robinson in for him.
Wheatley takes the snap, hands off on the dive to Orton, broke through 1 tackle, and can't quite get free from Glover and Kabonic. He will get across the 50 to the 49 for a gain of 3, 3rd and 9.
So the Beavers with 3rd and 9, 7:40 left, clock running. Kind of this offense is designed for this kind of a drive late in the game.
3rd and 9 at the Kanab 49-yard line, down to 7.5 minutes to go in the game. under center. They take the snap, handoff right side, and nowhere to go this time. Going to be a gain of 3 to the 46, makes it 4th and 6. Was that Hollingshead? Yes, it was.
After this game twists and turns, this boring dive football the Beaver employs is it's kind of a real slowdown from what we've had through the first 3 quarters.
4th down, 6 to go here for the Beavers, leading 43-22 with under 7 minutes to go in the game.
So I think you're going to see a timeout, I would guess. Yep, not a lot of action, so Coach John Marshall standing by the official. I think he says down at 1, we'll call one.
Yep, standing there watching the play clock. Good look of him there. And there's the timeout called. So we'll take the timeout with him. Tony and Dave's timeout. A third-generation body shop with exceptional service to get you back on the road. 6:33 to go in the game. 1A state championship on the Beaver Valley Hospital scoreboard. Beaver 43, Kanab 22 on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, and KSL Sports.
Vince Lombardi once said, "The measure of who we are is what we do with what we have." The quote rings true whether applied to our country, our schools, our homes, or on the field of play. We applaud our student athletes for their hard work and determination on the field and in the classroom. Brought to you by Sunrise Engineering, promoting excellence in sports and education. Visit us at sunrise-eng.com. That's sunrise-eng.com.
Live high school sports action on Centracom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
So we come out of that Tony and Dave's timeout, 6:33 to go in the game. It's a 21-point, 3-score lead for the Beavers. And they face 4th and 6. They will bring out the punt team. Kabonic drops back to receive for Kanab. Snap is good. Albrecht gets the kick away. High kick, bounces at the 20. Kabonic thought about coming up and grabbing that one, decides not to as it rolls inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line before being touched down. A great punt by Albrecht, and Kanab will have over 90 yards to go, down 3 scores with 6:20 left in the game.
Yeah, Kabonic got away with one earlier in the game, but that one just, there was too many Beavers too close to stop us, so it leaves a very long field for the Cowboys.
They'll put it at the 7-yard line is where they set it to start this drive.
Now, just trivia, well, we started this before, but so the Kanab Cowboys have a 3-game championship streak on the line here against the Beavers.
Yeah.
So the last win, 1987, though.
Yes. Brosco in the gun, takes the snap. Drops the pass into his own end zone, throws across the middle for Anderson, overthrew it, and Wolf is there to pick it off. Does he hold on? No. The official says he did. Nope, now they will say incomplete. As Wolf had it in his hands, the ball slipped through, and they will call incomplete. And the near side line judge coming over to discuss it with the back judge.
So we'll see what there is a little bit of controversy on this one.
The officials discuss it. And it will stay incomplete.
Yeah.
A break for the Cowboys.
Let's go to the replay to see.
You know, this catch or not rule is so interesting.
No, you know what? The ball was moving and he didn't make. Here, the bottom line is that if you maintain the possession, that's an interception either way.
Yeah. No, the ball doesn't pop free. It's a pick.
Then there's no question.
Brosco now under center, takes a snap. Here's the counter crisscross play back to Feder. Kyle again gets across the 10 to the 11-yard line for a gain of 4.
Yep, Gillens and Jex Bradshaw on the tackle.
So 3rd down and 6. Clock under 6 minutes.
Great job on the run defense again.
Double wing set for Verosco. Federcal goes in motion. Pressure coming. He throws for Gubler, who wasn't expecting it, and the ball nearly hit him in the back as it falls incomplete with Gage Radden in coverage.
Yeah, that brings up a 4th down. Radden was there on the coverage, but yeah, Gubler didn't even look for the ball. So Verosco turned. It was a timing pass, but Gubler didn't even look for it. So a little confusion.
Yeah, he was turning to go upfield.
Yeah. Radden was on it.
Yeah. Personnel changes here for the Cowboys. They bring Swap in on the left side. Verasco in the gun. Looks at the sideline. 6 seconds on the play clock. Drops back. Does step up to throw underneath. At the sticks to Willis. He makes the catch, and he's got enough for a Lumber Plus first down. Kind of gave the impression that he was going to kick it away, then throw a strike to Willis for the Lumber Plus first down.
Yeah, keeps the drive alive. Nice job by Verasco. Just turns, makes a perfect throw just beyond the sticks for the catch. And then what the Cowboys did is they sent Anderson down the field.
There's that counter crisscross play again as they get it to Federkyle. He can't quite break free as he's going to be brought down to the 20-yard line for a gain of 1.
You know, some of the big plays that Kanab was able to pull out against the North Summit Braves, Beaver disciplined enough and has been able to really stop those. That play was super effective last week.
Roscoe again throws underneath on the slant route. That one's going to be caught by Kabonic, and he's going to have enough for a Lumber Plus first down to the 29-yard line.
And you can see the Beavers in a soft defensive set. Just, you know, they'll allow 10 yards a pop, even a score if the Cowboys have to do it 10 yards at a time.
Roscoe again in the gun. Trips left, and the flag's going to come in from the umpire. False start against Kanab, so move him back 5 yards to the 24.
I think that has to be an illegal snap. So apparently you can do something with the ball, but not what he did. Not that time.
First and 15. Verasco to pass. Throws out of the backfield to Gubler. Gubler tries to make a man miss. Radden doesn't. He brings him down at the 25. A gain of a yard is all.
Yeah, Gage Radden with a nice open field tackle. Just kept Gubler in front of him. Didn't allow him to use that speed and lateral movement.
230 passing yards today now for Brogan Verasco. 4:11 left in this championship game. Beaver well on their way to another state title.
Back-to-back for the Beavers. It looks like.
It looks like.
You never know.
Verasco drops the pass, throws back behind him to Brown. Brown takes a shot from Orton, stayed on his feet, looked like he was going to be able to run. Then he tripped over Orton, and the ball popped free. Beaver wanted it. They were looking for another scoop and score was Titan Hunter, but the official blew it dead at the 22-yard line.
The Boo Birds come out. Let's take a look at the play. That's not the play. That was the previous play. Third down and long.
Yeah, they lose 3 yards on the play.
Another scoop and score would have been unbelievable.
Yeah.
We've had 2.
Verasco takes the snap, gives to Gubler. Gubler puts his hand on the lead blocker, breaks a tackle, gets free into the secondary. He'll get across the 40 for a Lumber Plus first down to the 42-yard line.
Yeah, good run by Gubler. He just stays on the right side, finds the seam, rides the ponies home for the first down. 20-yard
run for Gubler. Just his 7th carry of the game. Clock winding down toward 3 minutes. Flag flies on Beaver as they get the pass to Willis into Beaver territory to the 45 as Beaver didn't have their player off the field quick enough, I believe.
He was off the field. I was watching the player. The player was well off the field, but we'll see if they call it. They will. He was well off the field before the snap. I'm sure they'll just take the play, though.
Yeah, as the ball moved into the 45-yard line. 7 penalties now on Beaver, but for a total of 22 yards. 15-yard play on that one to Will, or 13-yard pass on that one to Willis. Now handoff to Gubler, hitting the backfield by Bradshaw, spun around and tossed backward. And he's going to go back to the 50-yard line for a loss of 5.
Yeah, Reagan Bradshaw living in the backfield, grabbed hold of the jersey, didn't do the whip with it, and took him down a little mildly to avoid the horse collar. Bradshaw with a great play.
2nd and 15, 2:33 to go in the game. 2 receivers to the right. Verasco drops the pass, pressure off the edge, throws that middle route to Anderson. Behind him, it falls incomplete.
Yeah, Verasco hurried that throw just a touch. Anderson opened more towards the middle.
34 passes today for Kanab. 20 of 34 is Verasco.
That I would not have guessed. 34 passes.
Yeah.
I wonder what the previous most is during the season for Kanab.
Not that.
Definitely not. For sure not.
2:27 to go in the game. 43-22 Beaver. Brasco under center, takes the snap, gives to Gubler. Gubler cuts back inside, and he's going to stay on his feet for a few extra yards to the 42-yard line for a gain of 8. 9 carries for 61 yards now for Gubler. That's 4th and 7.
It's going to be a good Kanab team again next year with Verosco, Gubler coming back, some other good players. They lose some good ones as well. Blomquist back.
Latimer, Glover.
Yeah. Glover's been, it's been interesting to see how he's really progressed during the season.
Verosco rolls the pass. Radden applying pressure. Verosco going to step up, tries to run, and he'll be brought down from behind. Is that Puffer that got him? Yes, it is. Brings him down for the turnover on downs, and Beaver takes over once again.
Yeah, that'll probably be it. 1:42 left in the game. Another sack. And a great job on the outside. Just nowhere for the Kanab players to go. Verosco under pressure from Radden. He's able to get inside, outside, but just too many Beavers there. Puffer just waited and took the player down.
So Verosco on the day, 5 carries for minus 30 yards. A couple of big lost plays that came at key times as well. Wheatley under center. Victory formation for the Beavers. Takes the knee. We do not see the timeout being called on the far sideline as a couple of high fives between the two teams.
Been a very cleanly played game, good sportsmanship, clean, hard-hitting football. And this 1A season has been a blast watching these teams be very competitive. During
these
the
top
season.
4 teams were great matchups every time they played each other. This is the biggest discrepancy, along with last week's 21-point win for Kanab over North Summit.
Yeah, correct.
Wheatley will watch the play clock wind down. Takes the snap, takes the knee. One more snap for Beaver will do it as you're the Beaver student section with the I believe that we're state champs chant.
They changed it.
Yeah.
Changed it a little bit.
As soon as it gets under 40 seconds, Beaver can take the knee to end it. 43-22 will be your final. The Beavers are once again state champions as they go back-to-back here in the 1A classification with a 3-score win over the Kanab Cowboys. As Kanab falls here at Southern Utah University and Beaver prevails.
Yep, 15th school championship, and what a game. This one was so much fun. All kinds of twists and turns, and the Beavers, they have the one blemish on the season with North Summit Braves, but in the end, a pretty dominant performance by the Beavers.
Yeah, great game played today as they will meet up midfield to give high fives all around with the Cowboys. And then, of course, the championship trophies will be presented as we move right into our Sunrise Engineering postgame show, serving communities for over 40 years. Learn more at sunrise-eng.com. That's Sunrise Engineering. 43-22 your final on the Beaver Valley Hospital scoreboard. And 15th all-time for the Beavers.
15th all-time.
And back-to-back.
Yep, back-to-back. It's hard to go back-to-back. The Beavers, we've talked about it. They've been in the championship so many times. This is I think their 5th out of 10. Is that correct? I can tell you. But what a decade of football for the Beavers.
Yeah, it's certainly been good. Starting with that 2015 group, you got Dylan Smith down there as the coaching staff, part of that group, right? And they've since that time they have just been on a roll. Have the Beavers?
Yes, they have. So the first championship of the 2000s was in 2015.
Yep.
And then 16 they were champs. Second in 17. 18th was the one year they didn't make the championship game. Then a first, a second, and a first. So this is the 6th out of those 10 games. 6th since 2015.
Pretty impressive run for the Beavers, no doubt about it, as they get the win 43-22 over the Kanab Cowboys. And you can see them on the field. They'll be presented with that championship trophy after Kanab will be given the runner-up trophy here at Southern Utah University's Eccles Coliseum.
Well, and the Kanab Cowboys, what a season for the Kanab Cowboys. I mean, they only were beaten by the best teams. They won. They beat everybody else, but what a tough road for the Cowboys. But this is a talented group, and I thought they played very well. just fantastic season for the Cowboys. And I know in Kanab that, like, you know, it's either first or you lose. You know, I mean, it's kind of, but I mean, I think that's one of the things that makes Kanab and Beaver, these are football schools, they expect to win every time they're on the field.
Yep.
And if they don't win, then it's under their expectations.
Yeah, very true. So 43-22 is your final, as again the Beavers meeting together on the 40-yard line to receive their trophy. Getting pictures and video and everything else happening as part of the state championship celebration here for the Beavers.
Yeah, it was a great game. Fun things, and I thought the sportsmanship was fantastic. It was a clean game, very cleanly played, no cheap shots, just good hard-nosed football, and just exactly what you'd expect from two football schools.
The second place runner-up trophy has been awarded to Kanab as they meet together in a huddle at the 45, and now Beaver receives the championship trophy.
Yeah, back-to-back champions.
Another great season for the Beavers. You know, the year started with they were just dominating teams early, good teams early.
Yeah, very good teams.
And it looked like it was going to be a runaway season for the Beavers. And then you lose a guy here or there. Murdoch, obviously a big loss for him on both sides, as Coach Marshall talked to me before the game about that. But then this 1A classification was just so tough with those top four teams, especially Duchesne was a solid fifth team in there as well. So I mean they had battles with Kanab, Milford, and North Summit, and they still prevail. 43-22 here in the championship.
And I will take that every single year, just, 4 or 5 teams in the mix, because it's so much more fun. So much more fun for an announcer. I know parents want blowouts, but announcers want games. And this has been as fun a season that I've been able to call Beaver High School football just because of those games. We've had some classic games in this year that made it a lot of fun. And for me, a lot more fun than the dominant years. This is a blast.
Yeah.
The North Summit game, the 2 Milford games, the Kanab game, and then this game was just fantastic.
Yep, some great games here today. It's or here this season, in 1A. You get to see Coach Randy Hunter and his son Titan embracing there on the sideline as the Beavers work their way to the south end zone to celebrate with fans. As that game was so much longer than anybody thought it was going to be, and now we're just 35 minutes away from the 2A state championship.
Yeah, we're going to go right into it. But not what we expected. I did not ever expect 26 possessions in this game. But that's what it ended up being, and a classic, a lot of fun, Robert. And in the end, the Beavers come out on top.
Yes, they do. Let's look at some of these final stats here in this one. Kanab ends up with 110 more yards, 358 to 248.
Isn't that crazy?
Kanab with 29 more offensive plays as well. 238 passing for Kanab, 122 for Beaver, 120 rushing for Kanab, 126 for Beaver.
Yeah, and on the Kanab side, in a losing effort, Gubler was 62, 50 for Federkyle, 41 for Brown. Verosco, to tell you how tough it was for him on the field, minus 33 yards rushing. He was just pummeled every time. On the Beaver side of the ball, in the rushing categories, 46 for Blackner, 39 for Hollingshead, Orton with 28, Radden with 17, Wheatley ended up with 5. Through the air, 20 for 36 for Verosco, 123 yards. 4 for 7 for Bodie.
223 yards, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. 200, yeah. Sorry about that. 238 yards.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, my bad. Bodie Wheatley, 4 for 7, exactly what the Beavers need from Bodie Wheatley for 122 yards, 112 yards. So the columns are not quite lined up, so I think it's 112 yards for Wheatley.
Yeah.
So about what you expect. But the Cowboys, outgained the Beavers by a substantial amount, but the game wasn't that close.
Yeah.
Just because of the way some of the things that happened.
Yeah, right.
On the receiving side, you've got Kabonic with 91 yards, 44 for Gubler, 41 for Federkyle, Willis with 28, Glover with 24, Anderson 13. On the Beavers, 59 for Radden, 59 for Orton, 4 for Reagan Bradshaw.
So there's your final stats here in this one. Let's go take a look now on the Beaver side here, Scott. First off with our State Farm Insurance Player of the Game. Good luck on that one. Brent Stapley, your State Farm agent in Beaver. They provide home, auto, life insurance, in addition to investment annuities opportunities for your retirement. 45 North Main in Beaver. Brent Stapley, a name you can trust.
Well, I'll name a player of the game, but in essence, I mean, it's the same as last week. I think there's too many to call one player of the game. I think I'm just going to call a play of the game, and it's going to be the scoop and score by Maverick Albrecht. Not very often that the big fellas get rewarded with a long touchdown, and so we'll just say the play of the game will be Maverick Albrecht. Players of the game, the Beaver High School Beavers.
Yeah, there you go, and that just goes right along with that Timberline restaurant sub of the game. Just one visit Timberline for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and you'll see why Timberline has become one of the most popular restaurants in southern Utah. Timberline Inn restaurant in Beaver, and again, we'll just say ditto to what you already said, because everybody did their job.
They did. They did their job, and fought through some adversity. The momentum shifts. The Beavers stayed poised. There was no panic. They were able to just steady in and weather every storm that a great Kanab team provided them.
The Kanab Drug Player of the Game, featuring a convenient drive-through service, modern pharmacy, and soda fountain with ice cream treats since 1916. That's a Kanab Drug. On the Kanab side, same thing. It's hard to find a single player of the game. Verosco throwing for 240 yards, 38 yards on the game was a great thing. Latimer Glover made some great plays. Troy Federkyle was big. Again, same thing. Kind of everybody just had moments where they did good things, and today it was just not enough.
These are two teams, which is kind of fun. It's not like there was no major athlete who dominated. It was two great teams playing football, and that's exactly the way that you like it. When you can't pick one. Because there's times where you're like, well, he's got that a lot, but these were two teams that played very, very well. Both deserve to be here, and both really shined in this game.
Yeah, they did. So 43-22 is your final here inside the Sunrise Engineering postgame show as we get ready to wrap up our coverage of this 1A state championship. Scott, any final thoughts on this one?
No, just a great, we were kind of commenting on this before, but just a great season of football in the 1A classification. This was a lot of fun, and I hope that they continue to be just like this, just competitive games. Everyone's got a chance, and this is, rural football is fantastic. Congratulations to the Kanab Cowboys. I have so many friends in Kanab. It's a great community, and I love it down there. And congratulations to Beaver High School for a back-to-back state champion. They're 15th, and a football dynasty lately. 10 years of playing in this championship game.
Yep, pretty impressive run so far by the Beavers, and of course, Coach Marshall and company, they're going to do what they can to keep it going.
Both these teams will reload next year and have a run at it.
Yes, they will.
I would see you could possibly see both teams back.
So earlier today, Rich won the 8-man state championship in dominant fashion over Monticello. Beaver wins the 1A state title. We've got the 2A state championship coming up in about a half hour from now here at Southern Utah University, and the 3A state championship happening at 7 o'clock here tonight as well. That 3A game we'll have for you on both the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network and TeamHive.live, but we're going to pause our coverage on the radio side here for the 2A state title game, but you can still tune in. Scott and I will be on the call for Emory San Juan coming up here in about a half hour from now at Southern Utah University. One more look at the Beavers hosting the state championship trophy as they beat Kanab 43-22 is your final. This has been the Sunrise Engineering postgame show. He's Scott Langford. I'm Robert Lovell, and a great crew here at Southern Utah University help bringing you this coverage of high school state championship football on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom and KSL Sports. Thank you for listening and watching.